The first spring of high school marked the beginning of a new life for Maki Mehara. When class started, the teacher introduced herself to the students and handed out student biodata forms. After everything was collected, Maki was the first student called to introduce himself. He explained where he came from and what he usually did outside of school hours. Like an NPC, Maki spent most of his days at home, snacking on pizza, drinking cola, playing games, and watching movies. The teacher immediately became interested in the kinds of movies Maki watched. Instead of action or romance films, Maki actually preferred movies involving sharks and crocodiles. What the hell? After Maki finished introducing himself, the teacher called the most beautiful student in the class, Yu Amami. Her name comes from the kanji characters for sky, ocean, and dusk. Please, editor, look up the kanji because I don't understand kanji either. Same here. The teacher praised Yu's hair and asked about the secret to her beautiful hair. Yu explained that her beautiful hair was inherited from her grandmother, who came from abroad. Yu, who graduated from Tachibana Girls Middle School, was apparently in the same class as another girl who is the second most beautiful student in the class, Umi Asanagi. Umi also looked slightly annoyed to end up at the same school, or even in the same class as Yu. After the first day of student introductions, Maki continued living the life of an NPC. Why not make friends first? Eating alone and going home alone. In contrast to the two most beautiful girls in his class, who often hung out and went to karaoke together, Maki simply stayed at home playing games and watching movies. Maki, who was known to be a severe introvert, actually had no problem being alone at school. Still, there were moments when he longed to hang out with his new classmates. The next day, Maki accidentally overheard a conversation between Yu and Umi. Yu wanted to invite Umi to hang out, but Umi refused while glancing at Maki. She explained that she wanted to watch a movie instead and showed the movie title to Yu. Yu looked both surprised and confused after discovering Umi's taste in movies. After the two girls left the classroom, Maki quietly reacted to their conversation, saying that there was nothing wrong with having strange tastes in movies. On his way home, Maki stopped by a movie rental shop to rent a DVD he wanted to watch later. By coincidence, he ran into Umi there. Maki was surprised and asked why she did not just watch a movie at the cinema. It turned out that Umi had only used the movie excuse to refuse Yu's invitation so she could spend time with Maki instead. Apparently, Umi shared the same hobby as Maki, which made her want to talk to him more. While browsing through movie DVDs together, the two of them chatted about different movie genres, and we only see their romance from the TV screen. The next day, through a line message, Umi asked if she could come over to Maki's house after school. It was pretty rare for a girl to visit a guy's house without being invited first. After arriving at Maki's house, the two of them ate delicious pizza while playing PvP games together. Umi became so annoyed from constantly losing that she almost threw her controller. One of them was a sore loser, while the other was way too competitive. Since it was getting late, Umi decided to head home and immediately helped clean up the food first. Seeing Umi's slim and attractive figure made Maki develop a small crush on her, and he wondered how she could stay so slim even though she ate as much as he did. Without further ado, Umi suddenly pinched Maki's slightly bloated stomach, just like the editor's stomach. After they finished cleaning up, Umi prepared to leave. Unexpectedly, she asked Maki out on a date the following week. Yes, she actually said date. Next week. Maki was completely shocked by the invitation, because he thought they were only friends. He also worried that his introverted side would ruin things once they actually went out together. Maki struggled with the idea for a while. Umi's real intention was to let Maki truly experience life as a teenager, since it would look strange if she kept visiting his house all the time. She also insisted that the date remain a secret so their classmates would not find out. In the end, Maki finally agreed. While having breakfast the next morning, Maki told his mother about his date next week. His mother was more surprised that Maki had finally made a friend at all. After all, he had always been alone. Happy about this, she gave him 10,000 yen in spending money, around $63 for the date. After receiving the money, Maki chatted with Umi to discuss their plans. Umi thought that if Maki wanted to treat her, it turned out they had to pay each other, aka split the bill, which was pretty normal for a first date anyway. During class, Umi chatted with Yu and another friend. In the middle of the conversation, Umi secretly gave Maki a coded signal while pretending to talk normally with her friends. Yu became suspicious after noticing Umi moving strangely behind her, but Umi casually covered it up by saying she was just scratching herself. When break time, Maki, as usual, ate lunch alone behind the school building, while wondering whether he really was Umi's best friend or not. While eating, he suddenly heard a voice that sounded like Umi's. It turned out that Umi was being confessed to by one of her seniors. Maki secretly eavesdropped on their conversation, and not long after, Umi's friends, including Yu, also arrived. Since Maki was already there, Yu casually said, "No need to go back to class, let's eavesdrop together." In the end, the three of them listened in on the conversation between Umi and her senior together.
よければ俺と付き合ってくれないかな?
When the senior confessed to Umi, she immediately rejected him without hesitation. The senior then asked, "Do you have a boyfriend?" Umi answered that she was single and too lazy to deal with romance. Nina, who overheard the rejection, felt relieved because the senior was known as a playboy at school. He had apparently confessed to Yu before as well, only to be rejected by her too. Maki was surprised that Yu enjoyed eavesdropping so much. Yu casually explained that she was Umi's best friend, so she always followed her around wherever she went. Not long after, Umi left the area with her friends following behind her. Before leaving, Yu borrowed Maki's phone to save her number in it. She told him to keep their exchanged contact information a secret, considering she was one of the popular girls at school. After school, Maki told Umi about witnessing the confession while they were at his house. Umi unexpectedly apologized for making him worry. Curious, Maki asked whether she was really that popular at school for so many guys to approach her. Umi answered, "Maybe, but not as popular as you. Are you jealous?" Maki admitted he was not jealous, but he thought being popular sounded troublesome. Too many people would approach you, ask you out, and force you into uncomfortable situations where you constantly had to reject them. In contrast, being alone might feel pathetic at times, but at least he did not have to deal with people clinging to him like parasites. Hearing Maki's explanation, Umi thought he was overthinking things, but at the same time, she liked that side of him, but only as a friend. Maki also enjoyed spending time with Umi, again, as a friend. Both of them hoped they would not become overly emotional about their relationship. Not long after, they grabbed their controllers and started competing against each other in games again. As the days passed, the day of their date finally began again, as a friend. Umi turned down Yu's invitation to hang out without explaining why, since she did not want Yu to know that she was going to hang out with Maki later. Nina, noticing that Umi had recently stopped spending time with them as often, became suspicious that Umi already had a boyfriend. Yu, who heard it, didn't believe it while convincing her with that adorable expression. Meanwhile, Maki overheard the conversation from afar and quietly left the classroom. At the mall, Maki waited for Umi while checking his appearance in the mirror, dressed in what he considered standard guy fashion. Not long after, Umi arrived wearing a simple outfit that was not overly flashy, like most girls. She teased Maki's dark-colored fashion sense, saying he looked like some kind of worshipper of darkness. She even suggested that he think about the color combination of clothes tomorrow. Maki thought again, tomorrow, meaning that one day, Umi will ask him out again, but as a friend. While walking around the mall, Umi admitted that she purposely arrived early because she knew Maki, as a severe introvert, would probably struggle figuring out where to go alone. Maki thanked her for being considerate. Later, Maki brought her to a hobby shop. Umi became surprisingly excited after seeing all the colorful female character merchandise there, which made Maki question her tastes a little. Still, Umi enjoyed the atmosphere because she had never visited places like this when hanging out with Yu before. Maki usually addressed her by her last name, but Umi asked him to call her by her first name instead because she did not want things to feel too formal between them. With a small pout on her face, she insisted on being called Umi. In return, Maki suggested she call him Maki. However, Umi suddenly backed out, claiming they still were not close enough for that. "Oh my, you've often played at Maki's house. Why aren't you felt close yet, Umi?" Maki slightly annoyed, and Umi challenged him to play games together at an 18+ section of the hobby shop to become closer and stickier. "Hey, sis, no. After leaving the hobby shop, they stopped by a fast food restaurant, Mac. D. Maki started some small talk about newly released movies, and Umi recommended a movie about a winged shark. What the hell?
Bruh.
Even so, Maki became genuinely excited to watch it, even if he would only stream it later. During their conversation, Umi casually mentioned that they already had another date planned for the following week. Maki replied, "I don't mind, but are you really okay spending time with me every week?" He was referring to you and her other friends. Umi understood immediately and answered, "I still hang out with you on other days, so don't worry. But it's unusual for you to be this considerate." Maki simply stayed silent after hearing that. In the middle of their conversation, several girls from school happened to be eating lunch there and started gossiping loudly about Umi. They commented that even though Umi was beautiful, her appearance today looked plain and ordinary. Hearing their gossip, Umi suddenly asked Maki to pretend to be her boyfriend. She loudly shouted, "Come here, honey, open your mouth." Ah! Maki felt so embarrassed he wanted to disappear on the spot, but Umi casually added, "Don't be shy. We feed each other all the time at home." Maki's stiff personality made it difficult for him to play along until Umi secretly kicked his leg under the table. Then Umi dramatically said, "Oh, you want to feed me too? You're so sweet, darling." Ah! Eventually, Maki got dragged into her act. Unfortunately, the gossiping girls still continued talking behind their backs. They could not believe that someone as beautiful as Umi would reject a handsome senior just for a nerdy-looking guy like Maki. Umi was getting more and more annoyed, listening to the girls gossiping about Maki as if they knew about him. Maki calmed Umi down because Umi was the only one who knew about him. Since the girls had completely ruined the mood, Umi dragged Maki to the arcade instead. They spent time there playing games until they eventually got bored. As evening approached, Maki suggested heading home while waiting for Umi to finish using the restroom. Sitting alone, he quietly muttered to himself, "It's honestly strange that I'm able to hang out with Umi like this." Still, he realized there was a positive side to it. Spending time with her had slowly given him the courage to socialize with other people. While sitting there, Maki unexpectedly ran into Yu and her group. Seeing him guarding someone else's bag, Yu assumed Maki had come with a close friend. When Maki tried to leave, Yu invited him and his friend to join their group instead. Nina pointed out that inviting him might make things awkward, but Yu cheerfully replied, "Really? I think it would be more fun with a bigger group." Maki felt that Yu always carried an overwhelmingly positive vibe without fully considering how others felt. He responded honestly, "I'm sorry if this sounds rude. I'm not saying you're wrong. Hanging out in groups can definitely be fun, but there are also people who genuinely dislike it. People like that usually force themselves to fit in, so they won't ruin the atmosphere. They pretend to think about everyone else first until they eventually get exhausted. I know because I'm one of those people." In the end, Maki still rejected the invitation because he already had plans with his friend. After leaving, Umi thanked Maki for saving her from the awkward situation. She then shared a little about her past. A year ago, she had been chosen as a class leader because of her excellent academic abilities. Back then, she was also a huge people pleaser, someone who could never refuse requests and always prioritized others over herself. Eventually, she realized that living like that was unhealthy, which led her to develop her unusual movie hobby as a way to escape. Because of that hobby, Umi wanted a friend who genuinely shared the same interests, and the person she chose was Maki. Maki jokingly replied, "You should have just approached me from the beginning." Umi admitted he was right, but she also said she needed to be careful because Maki was her first boyfriend. No, wait, her first male friend. Once Maki finally got a seat on the train, Umi apologized again for making him worry, especially because Yu tended to overthink things whenever conflict happened. Yu apparently felt guilty for pushing Maki too hard to hang out in groups. However, Maki apologized as well for making Umi deal with the whole situation. Umi don't mind that. After all, that was what friends were for, helping each other.
ありがとね、マキ。
The next day, Yu approached Maki to apologize for the incident. Maki apologized too for sounding rude earlier. Yu explained that she genuinely had good intentions and simply did not realize Maki disliked group hangouts so much. The two of them reconciled peacefully. Later, Yu mentioned that she would text Maki again sometime to talk more about what happened. Well, you just apologized, why talk about it again? The moment she casually brought up having Maki's phone number, the entire class became jealous and annoyed. After all, How could they not be? The quiet introvert who barely talked in class somehow had the contact information of one of the prettiest girls at school. Even though they had agreed to keep it secret, you accidentally exposed it in front of everyone. Suddenly, all eyes in class were focused on Maki because of his connection to you. On the way home, you also told Maki that Umi was surprisingly good at keeping secrets. Umi, who still pretended not to be close to Maki in public, quietly thanked him for accepting her friendship. Meanwhile, Nina continued following the three of them from behind for some unknown reason, but why didn't they go home together? Noticing Nina's strange behavior, you suggested using the 1,000 steps technique, in other words, running away. The three of them immediately ran while Nina chased after them. Their destination was Maki's house, where they planned to properly discuss the earlier incident. At Maki's house, Umi wanted clarification about why you and Maki had exchanged phone numbers. After hearing the explanation, she quickly understood that the misunderstanding was inevitable. You apologized to Umi for secretly eavesdropping before, while Maki apologized for not telling Umi about exchanging numbers with you earlier. Since both of them had apologized sincerely, they received a punishment. Forehead flicks. Okay, let's continue with the main topic. Because Maki had explained more detail about his hangout with his friend, you understood the situation and said, "You must really love your friend." That single sentence made both Maki and Umi blush instantly. Not long after, Umi awkwardly told you it was probably time for her to head home. Before leaving, you happily declared that now that everything had been resolved, she wanted Maki to become her new friend too.
私とお友達になってくれませんか?
Before class started that morning, Maki had just sat down when you suddenly approached him. Yes, just like normal friends do, she simply wanted to make small talk. However, everyone in class immediately stared at Maki, and he could feel a negative aura coming from his classmates. You asked him to forget about the previous incident and continue being friends as usual. But Maki still felt the strange atmosphere surrounding him. Many students gossiped about him because they thought it was strange for an introvert like Maki to be close friends with someone as beautiful as you. Even Umi, who sat nearby, sent Maki a text message asking him to forgive you, who couldn't read the atmosphere in class. During lunch break, you invited Maki to eat lunch together. The invitation instantly shocked the entire class. From Yu's perspective, it seemed harmless, but for Maki and even for Umi, the situation felt far more uncomfortable. Umi reminded you that Maki was not used to crowded social situations, especially with someone as popular as you. Because of that, you invited Umi to join them too, and only then did Maki agree. The three of them headed to Maki's favorite lunch spot. While opening their lunch boxes, you noticed that Maki's food looked delicious and asked to exchange side dishes with him. Since Maki's mother was busy working, he usually prepared his own lunch. You felt slightly defeated after learning Maki could cook this well, while both she and Umi could barely cook at all. Ideal husband material? When you tasted Maki's food, she was impressed by the perfect balance of salty and sweet flavors that paired well with rice. Umi also tried his food and agreed that it was delicious. On top of that, Maki casually mentioned that he could make souffle pancakes using only bananas and eggs. Can he really do that? You became extremely curious and immediately asked to visit Maki's house sometime just to try the pancakes herself, naturally inviting Umi along too. After you left briefly to buy tea, Umi took the opportunity to ask Maki what he thought about you. Maki answered that you was cheerful, almost like a pet dog. Umi then pointed out that you clearly did not care about the rumors people spread about her being close to Maki, even though they were just friends. Maki still felt distant from you and believed there was no way their relationship could ever become anything more. Umi replied, "Come on, we're talking about the most beautiful girl in class here." What she meant was that nobody could predict the future. Maybe you could actually end up liking Maki someday, who knew? Umi also told him not to take the classroom rumors too seriously. Indirectly, she was even encouraging him to consider dating you someday. No! Are you giving up, sis? Still, Maki only saw you as a friend, nothing more. Later, while changing for gym class in the girls' locker room, Nina asked you what exactly she found attractive about Maki. You answered honestly, because he's kind, he has his own principles, and he always thinks carefully before speaking, just like Umi. Hearing that answer, Umi could only smile quietly. After school, the three of them went to Maki's house to try the promised souffle pancakes. Maki served his homemade pancakes, and both girls loved them. While eating, Maki overheard Umi and Yu discussing the Valentine chocolates. Umi explained that the chocolates were simply gifts exchanged between friends. Maki also remembered that both girls had previously attended a prestigious all-girls middle school, though for some reason they had chosen to enroll in a co-ed high school afterward. That's what Maki still thinks about. Afterward, they played PlayStation games together in triple player mode. Surprisingly, Yu turned out to be extremely skilled at gaming, to the point where even Umi, who usually played with Maki all the time, ended up losing. As it grew late, the girls prepared to leave. Yu mentioned wanting to invite Maki somewhere next time and also planned to invite Yumi along, but Yumi refused. She believed it would be better if Yu spent time alone with Maki instead. Umi teasingly added, "You want to get closer to Maki, right?" Yu then called Maki to ask about his plans for Friday. After the call, Yu casually mentioned that Maki already had plans to go out with someone. Since the person in question was obviously Umi, she immediately rushed back to Maki's house, using the excuse that she had forgotten her phone there. The moment she arrived, she pinched Maki's nose without explanation before leaving again. Hug, hug. Why don't you just hug him? That's what I want to see, sis. The next day, as usual, Umi came over to Maki's house to hang out, and this time, Yu did not join them. Finally, while playing PlayStation together, Umi asked about the manga Maki had lent her before. Maki then offered to show her the newest volume he had bought after school. Curious and impatient, Umi immediately followed him into his room to read it together. You guys just went to the room to read manga, right? Nothing else, right? Really only to read manga? The two of them became completely absorbed in the story while reading side by side. Umi eventually asked for another manga series to start from the beginning, so they continued reading different volumes quietly together. After finishing his manga, Maki decided to make coffee for both of them, but when he turned around, he found Umi already asleep on his bed. He tried to wake her up, but somehow ended up falling asleep beside her instead. Maki suddenly woke up after hearing a woman's voice and assumed it was Umi speaking. Unfortunately, it was actually his mother. "Oh my, you've been caught." The moment she saw the situation, Maki immediately got scolded. Since it had become too late for Umi to safely return home alone, Maki's mother decided to call Umi's family and ask permission for her to stay overnight. She allowed Umi to use the bathroom first, while Maki got scolded by his mother again. Apparently, Maki's mother had long suspected something strange was happening. Every Saturday, she noticed the living room smelled strongly of air freshener, as though someone had been trying to hide another person's scent. Maki was very clever at hiding Umi's body fragrance there. She asked how long Umi had been visiting regularly, and Maki admitted that Umi had been coming over every Friday for the past 2 months. Maki quickly clarified, "We're just friends. I've never done anything weird with her." His mother warned him that Umi was still a teenage girl and told him to be more careful. Maki apologized sincerely afterward. Later, while Maki sat in his room absent-mindedly playing with a paint roller, Umi entered after finishing her shower. She was now wearing Maki's training clothes. Since it was already late, Maki planned to sleep in the living room while letting Umi use his room for the night. Before sleeping, Umi wanted to talk for a little longer. She teasingly said, "You're pretty naughty for letting such a cute girl stay overnight at your house." Maki replied, "That's your own fault. I tried waking you up, but you were sleeping like a tree branch." Basically, both of them were equally naughty. Maki then asked Umi about keeping their close relationship hidden from Yu. Umi simply told him to continue acting normally, and said there would eventually come a time when Yu learned the truth herself. Umi will explain to Yu slowly later, so Maki doesn't need to worry. Maki left the room to sleep in the living room. Before he closed the door, Umi softly said, "Good night." Naturally, Maki spent the next several minutes blushing alone while aggressively fixing the blanket on the sofa. The next morning, Maki walked Umi home. When they arrived at her house, they were warmly welcomed by Umi's mother. She gently scolded Umi for staying out so late without informing her beforehand, while also reminding Maki to contact them next time too. Umi apologized. Then Umi's mother became extremely curious about the relationship between them. Apparently, she had asked Umi many times before, but Umi always dodged the topic out of embarrassment. Umi's mother then jokingly offered to let Maki stay overnight at their house now, so she could monitor her child. future son-in-law, at her house in peace. Hearing that, Umi became even more embarrassed and started complaining about her mother, constantly teasing her. Meanwhile, her mother laughed and joked that she wanted grandchildren as soon as possible. Later in class, the teacher announced that they needed representatives for the upcoming school festival meeting. Since nobody volunteered, the teacher decided to choose representatives through a lottery system. Required one boy and one girl, and unfortunately, Maki was selected as the male representative. The entire class tried to avoid eye contact with him, and no one wanted to be class rep with him. It honestly felt like bullying. Nina became irritated, seeing everyone's reaction, and Umi felt the same way. Nina secretly hoped she would be selected alongside Maki just to support him, but she was not chosen and quietly regretted it afterward. Then, unexpectedly, Yu stood up and bluntly asked the class, "Do you guys seriously hate Maki Meihara or something?" Hearing cheerful and beautiful Yu say something so direct left both Maki and Umi completely stunned. Even someone as bright and friendly as Yu could become firm when it truly mattered. Yu felt that her friends were really avoiding Maki, and even said things that really hurt him, like, "She'll probably just be Meihara's nanny later," or, "Poor girl who gets chosen will have to work with a gloomy guy like that." Yu asked in a firm tone, "Why do you think badly of Maki? What did he do wrong that you said something like that, huh?" After Yu gave them an ultimatum, she volunteered to be the festival class representative. But Umi was seen rummaging through the lottery box there, and it turned out she got the jackpot prize of 1 billion and married me. Haha, I mean, she got a paper that said to be the festival class representative with Maki. According to the rules, the one who gets the lottery will be the festival class representative. Besides, she also had a lot of free time, and really wanted to accompany Maki as the festival class representative. Of course, this made Yu surprised with her cuteness. Well, the teacher was confused. There were two girls who were willing to be class representatives, both of whom were the first and second most beautiful in the school, who had a big influence in the social environment. Yu initially insisted on accompanying Maki, but Umi immediately calmed Yu down and told her to think clearly first. Yumi understood that Yu was emotional because Meihara was treated badly by his classmates, but Yu's firmness was too excessive in giving them an ultimatum and made the situation worse. Yu immediately apologized to her classmates and also to Maki. Then did his classmates apologize to Maki or not? Of course not. They are bastards. When the bullying atmosphere had subsided, Umi said that according to the lottery rules, she would accompany Maki to be the festival class representative. No one was allowed to protest, and asked that her classmates cooperate later. After that, all the festival class representatives gathered in the audiovisual room, and Maki praised Umi for being so great at diffusing the bad situation earlier. Umi proudly said, "Wow, that's clear. Keep praising me, Maki, but according to Umi, the one who was truly great was Yu, because she immediately went to the front of the class without hesitation and gave an ultimatum like that. Without caring whether the situation would get worse or not, she just expressed her feelings honestly and firmly in front of everyone. She could even get angry just to defend someone sincerely. Letsen, Umi felt that Maki must also be touched when Yu defended him like that. Unlike Umi, who only spoke frankly there, Yumi, who was more concerned with neutralizing the situation and would never be able to do what you did. Gosh, she's even more pessimistic. That's your future husband. You should be more optimistic. Seeing Umi's sad reaction, Maki will try to do his best as a committee and will not bother Umi further. Maki is actually the one who started the bad atmosphere in the class. Because of that, Maki doesn't want to see Umi's beautiful face decorated with sadness like that again. That's it, guys. A really manly guy is like that. Try to keep your girl happy. Not long after, Seki, the student council president, came to the audiovisual room, and they immediately started a meeting to discuss the school cultural festival. After the afternoon meeting, Umi was called by Yu, who was still waiting for her at school. Yu wanted to thank her for holding Yu back from making the situation worse. While pinching Yu's cheek, Umi also thanked her, but Umi didn't explain why she was grateful to Yu. In her heart, Umi was actually grateful because Yu had sincerely defended her beloved Maki. Umi also didn't want a guy as good as Maki to be treated like that in class. Yu then said, "You're like a prince, huh?" And a scene from when they were little was shown. The next day, Umi as the class speaker said that their class got an exhibition event after conducting many elections, and everyone looked disappointed because their Maid Cafe event proposal was not approved by the student council president. Even though the Maid Cafe is one of the most popular cultural festivals in every school. But Umi encouraged her friends because the solution to attract visitors' attention was by cosplaying, especially since they had you, the most beautiful in school, and accompanied by Nina, who was the sweetest. Certainly the most votes would come to their class. Actually, everyone also wanted to see Umi cosplaying as a bunny maid, but Umi would not do it because she only wanted to cosplay for me. Haha. Maki also proposed holding a mosaic art of used cans to attract visitors' attention, which is making artwork from recycled used items and utilizing them into something artistic, and has high aesthetic principles with environmental awareness. By Google Gemini. After the class discussion, when the class was empty, Maki looked very tired because he was not used to such an open discussion atmosphere. Maki said that he was grateful that Umi was his partner. Partner? Yes, she is your spouse in the future. Meanwhile, Umi prides herself that she can be the best spouse for Maki. Umi praised Maki's idea because the mosaic art of used cans was the perfect event. But Umi also apologized to Maki because there was one thing that still bothered her. Umi handed Maki the class lottery paper from yesterday, and when he opened it, oh, why was it empty? It turned out that Umi was naughty by cheating during the class lottery. She secretly took the lottery like everyone else did. Then Umi lied that she got the festival class representative lottery paper, which was actually empty. Oh, I see. She wants to be with Maki that much. Just get married. Get married anyway. Seeing that, Maki just smiled and wrote the same words as on the paper he got yesterday. Maki tried to cheer Umi up. Maki didn't mind Umi's naughtiness, because in the lottery, it was also random how to get it. The most important thing was that Maki was very happy that Umi did that naughtiness for him, especially when the class was in a situation like that. Hearing that, Umi looked cheerful again, and Maki smiled, seeing Umi's beautiful reaction there. The division of tasks was finally carried out. Umi was in charge of drawing a character from the manga to be the point of her mosaic. But Umi wasn't good at drawing and only traced from one of the manga panels. Maki didn't mind that, because the drawing could still be used as a mosaic of used cans later. Maki would also prepare the color composition. Meanwhile, you, as the Minister of Can Color Distribution, along with other friends, collected used cans and sorted them according to color categories. But the problem was, the used cans contained many cigarette butts and were dirty, and you reported this to Maki and Yumi. Maki, who knew this, immediately added a used can cleaning division. You had glanced at the manga there, and she volunteered to try drawing one of the panels there. A few minutes passed. It turned out that Yu's drawing was very good, even better than Umi's. Umi was a little sad because again Maki was focused on Yu, like playing a game at that time. Umi immediately decided unilaterally that Yu would be the drawing part for the mosaic, and the can color part would be done by Nina. Maki was a little surprised to hear the decision, while Umi clutched her drawing until the paper was crumpled. Oh dear, calm down, calm down. A few days have passed. Finally, Yu's drawing has been finished being colored, and when Maki saw Yu's coloring results, Umi became even sadder. Umi then showed Yu's colored drawing to her friends while saying, "You made this, you know," and they responded, "Wow, Yu can do anything. She's perfect as a girl." Then they thanked Umi for neutralizing the atmosphere during the festival class representative lottery that time. They also felt guilty for being carried away by the chatter of other boys in class. It was natural that Yu got angry like that in front of the class. Hearing that, Umi smiled and asked them to continue supporting Meihara because Meihara worked very hard to carry out this exhibition event. When Umi was about to return to class, Maki chatted WhatsApp to end today's progress and told Umi to go home because it was already Friday and Maki didn't want Umi to work too much. Maki also forbade Umi from playing at his house today, and Umi had to rest so she wouldn't get tired. So attentive. But what Umi really feels is that she really wants to spend time with Maki. It's normal, guys. Girls need to recharge their affection and emotions when they're on a date together at home, right? A few hours passed. Maki, who was turning Yu's picture into pixel art in Photoshop, was getting more and more anxious. Usually he always hangs out with Umi on Fridays, then goes on dates on weekends, but now it's like this. Because he couldn't stand it anymore, he called Umi, who was doing karaoke with her classmates. Umi came out of the karaoke room, heard Maki's anxiety, and her heart felt happy and teased him. What do you want to say, Maki? Maki said manly, "Can you stop by my house while working on this picture design together? After that, we can eat together and play." Obviously, Umi teased Maki even more. You miss me that much, bro? Just say you're lonely. Come on, bro. Say it again properly with your feelings. Say, "I'm really lonely and need my Umi Asanagi. Without her, I feel like I'm going to die." Maki, who was blushing, immediately wanted to hang up the phone, but Umi said gently, "So, can I come over to the house? I'm actually lonely without you too, darling. Why don't you officially dating at the same time?" Not long after, you came and this made Umi panic. Then she asked you for permission to go home first because she had urgent business at home. You, who saw Umi panicking, was daydreaming and thinking about something. When Umi arrived at Maki's house, her mood immediately lifted and she was so happy. She even smiled when she only said Maki's name. But on the other hand, there was someone following Umi from behind. Several hours passed, and it was getting late at night. Umi asked Maki to lie down for a while in the room. Maki allowed it, and if she wanted to sleep, it was okay. Umi teased Maki again. Hoo, sleep. Here? You're so naughty, saying things like that so casually. I'm a sexy girl, by the way. Hearing that, Maki immediately blushed again, because he didn't mean to lead to anything lewd. Then Umi said, "But it's okay. Besides, Auntie has given permission. If you want to grope me, I can slap and kick you until satisfied." The atmosphere was silent for a moment, and suddenly, Umi's head rested on Maki's shoulder, then said, "Maki, actually I." Ding dong, ding dong. Suddenly, Maki's apartment bell rang, which turned out to be you, who had been following Umi. This blonde anomaly is just annoying. Umi immediately hid in Maki's room, and when Maki opened his apartment door, you immediately said, "Umi, you're in there, right?" Maki was clear and Umi was trembling. Umi, who couldn't deny it, went out of Maki's room and Maki asked you, "Since when did you know about us?" You explained that she wouldn't stay there long and didn't want to disturb their precious time. She had actually started to suspect something because every weekend, Umi always had a lot of things to do at home. That suspicion finally got answered. The real reason Umi lied to you every weekend. You asked with disappointment and sadness, "Umi, why didn't you tell me the truth? Why did you lie to me? Am I someone you can't trust? Am I the only one who thinks we're friends?" Then the three of us met yesterday. You've actually known Maki for a long time? Why, Umi? Why? Maki tried to calm you down and explained that Maki was the one at fault for telling Umi to keep this a secret. But you couldn't calm her heart that felt lied to by her own best friend. Umi didn't answer any of you's questions, and only reacted sadly, devastated, as if there was a deep wound that Umi hadn't told her about all this time. Umi said goodbye to Maki, and she said harshly to you, "I'm going home alone. You don't need to accompany me. Sorry, you. I've been mean to you." Seeing Umi's reaction and response made you even more confused, because it was the first time she saw Umi like that. A little flashback to Umi and Yu's junior high school days. They were also very famous in junior high because of their beauty. Yu was the most beautiful number one, and Umi was the second most beautiful. There was one moment that made Umi sad and hurt, where Umi's friends rejected Umi's invitation to go out together on the weekend. But it turned out they went with you. Umi, who saw this, felt as if they only wanted to be close to you. Since the incident of Umi and Maki's closeness was discovered by you, Maki never chatted with Umi at all. Even Maki's WhatsApp chat was only read by Umi, and you also felt the same as Maki. Umi's last chat was, "I'm sorry, you. Just forget what happened yesterday." It was as if Umi had closed herself off again and didn't want anyone else to bother her. The school culture festival progress was going as usual, and Umi seemed to not think about the incident. The only difference was the formal greetings at school, and when it was outside of school, Umi closed herself off again. Therefore, Maki would talk directly to Umi right now, because Maki knew that Umi must have a wound that she had been carrying alone all this time. On the school rooftop, while everyone was working, Maki called Asanagi's name and without hesitation, loudly said, "I want to talk to you about something important." This surprised everyone. The atmosphere was as if Maki wanted to confess his love to Asanagi. You reported that Umi didn't need to worry. The mosaic design was under control. Nina, who understands the situation there, also reported that there was no problem with the distribution of colors. Maki took Yumi into the sports warehouse. And Yumi reprimanded Maki for being too bold to talk to her in that way. Maki replied, "Well, you just read my WhatsApp chat anyway." Maki didn't say anything more and invited Umi to tidy up the remaining cans that hadn't been sorted yet. They were both silent for a few minutes, and Umi was confused. "Didn't you ask anything about me? Are you going to tell me or not?" Maki replied. Yumi said, "I understand that we can't continue like this. I don't want to always avoid you like this. Don't you want to ask why I'm behaving like this?" Maki replied, "Honestly, I want to ask about that, and I want to know your reason. I want to know what you're thinking." "What if I keep quiet?" Umi asked. "I won't force you to tell me. I'll still wait for you." Hearing that, Umi's heart melted even more, and she hugged Maki tightly from behind. While crying a little, Umi said that Maki was a really good guy. Umi's tears flowed even faster, and Maki was forbidden to look back. Umi gently said, "Do you want to listen to my story attentively, Maki? Do you want to wait until the cultural festival is over?" Maki firmly said, "Yes, I am willing. The time and place I leave to you." Umi hugged Maki tightly for a while, and finally Umi's heart had calmed down a little. She thanked Maki for being a comfortable support for her, and Umi would also tell you later. Long story short, the cultural festival went smoothly, and the used can mosaic art event really attracted the attention of visitors. After the festival was over, Umi invited Maki to the roof of the school building, and also invited you, but, while you hadn't arrived yet, Maki politely said that he wanted to hold hands with Umi. Umi agreed and thought that Maki was too polite to ask, and thanked Maki for trying to cheer Umi up. "Your hands are cold, Umi. Your hands are warm, Maki." "Oh my, you can say, it's comfortable. It's comfortable. It's better than chit-chat like that." You suddenly opened the door to the school rooftop, and they immediately let go of each other's hands. But unexpectedly, you brought two of her friends from elementary school to get acquainted with Maki. "Oh my, what is this blonde anomaly?" Yumi explained that she knew Yu's elementary school friend very well, and coincidentally, Yumi could also tell her all her anciency all this time.
これから話すのは私のちっぽけな劣等感の話。私のことそんなに友達だなんて思ってないんだから。
Flashback to elementary school days. Sana-e and Manaka, it turns out they have been friends since childhood with Umi, and when they went home together, Umi saw Yu, who was walking alone from a distance. She said goodbye to them first, and immediately followed Yu to the small park there. Umi approached Yu, who was crying on a park bench, and said, "Why are you going home alone? Don't you have any friends in class yet?" Yu replied that she didn't have any friends because she had just moved here. In her previous school, Yu was always shunned because of her blonde hair and eye color, very different from the kids around her. Yu thought that the same thing would happen here, and because of that, she was always alone. Umi then decided to ask Yu to be friends and must always be together every day with her. This is where Umi and Yu began to become besties who always together. The next day, Umi immediately introduced you to Manika and Sana-e, and they greeted you with a smile and said that you was beautiful and cute. Yu, who heard it, was very happy and thanked Umi. As time went by, Yu began to open her heart, and his smile always brought happiness to the people around her. Umi was very happy because Yu could get through her difficult times in terms of friendship. But all of that started to get a little strange and changed when they entered middle school. Yu became very popular and was dubbed the prettiest in school #1. Umi was very amazed because Yu became the center of attention of all students in class and school. Even Umi also heard that most female students could felt proud when they were friends with Yu. In the first grade of junior high, Umi did not understand this because she also did not fully understand the meaning of pride or something to be proud of. But when she was in the third grade of junior high school, the school situation got worse, with Yumi being seen as someone who didn't deserve to be friends with Yu, the #1 prettiest in school. They thought Yumi was pretty but ordinary because Yu was prettier than Yumi. And from here on, many students always put Yumi second when she was with Yu. Of course, they would choose and prioritize being close to Yu over Umi. Many people were jealous of Umi because Yu always said Umi was her true bestie. Even though according to the junior high school girls, Umi wasn't worthy of being her bestie. They thought to themselves, "I'm pretty too, I deserve to be her bestie more." That's roughly how to describe something with the words pride that Umi just realized. And there was an incident that made Umi's heart really hurt. She saw Manaka and Sana-e hanging out with Yu on the weekend, without inviting Umi. As I explained in episode 4, they only wanted to be close to you. Therefore, they deliberately refused Yumi's invitation to watch a movie with them and you, and cover her weekend events with you. It's true, Manaka and Sana-e have been childhood friends with Umi, but as time goes by, they only want to be close to you. Yumi even overheard their conversation at a restaurant that they pretended to say. It seems like Yumi wants to focus on studying this weekend. Lately, she's been trying to hold herself back from playing, when in fact, they knew that Yumi was free that day. Even you really hoped that Yumi could join in the gathering at that time. Umi, who actually wanted to invite you to watch a movie together this weekend, was speechless when she saw the painful fact. In the end, Umi just watched the movie alone without any friends to accompany her. Back to the present, Umi pretended not to care about it, and because Umi had a nature of a pleaser since long ago, she let the situation go without telling you. You was shocked after hearing Yumi's story, and she finally realized that the reason Yumi wanted to transfer schools was not because of expensive school fees, but because of this friendship problem. Umi deliberately lied to you because she wanted to escape from the problem, even though you still ended up choosing to be with Umi now. Umi understood that you considered Umi as her number one true bestie, but that was what made the situation even more chaotic since middle school. Honestly, Umi was very happy because she had the best bestie like you, but it was also what backfired on Umi herself. Umi had also told this problem to Monica and Sana-e, and they answered honestly that they wanted to be closer to you, not with Umi anymore. Not only them, but many of Yumi's friends, who were previously friends with Yumi, gradually grew apart and chose to be close to you only. In the end, Umi always felt alone in junior high if you was not there in the farewell, and therefore, Umi did not want there to be a conflict that was much bigger than this. In the end, she decided to give in, and she sacrificed herself to carry it all alone with her heartache for you, her beloved bestie. This was also the reason for Yu's question at that time, about why Yumi was secretly close to Maki and didn't tell you anything. Umi wanted to have Maki alone, and she didn't want to lose Maki, the only guy Umi could rely on in her loneliness. Umi still loved you as her best bestie, but that love also made Umi hate you. These two conflicting feelings made Yumi's sadness even deeper, and finally, she asked for permission to cool her head first, then ran away, leaving them there. Maki then excused himself to them because he wanted to chase Umi, and there was something he had to talk to her about. Maki immediately went to class and saw Umi, who was daydreaming near the classroom window. Maki tried to cheer Umi up, sat near her, and said, "You're a great girl. You're great to be able to bear the burden of those heavy feelings alone and normally, as if there were no problems. You're great. The greatest girl I've ever met." Hearing that, Umi burst into tears because she couldn't hold it in anymore, and Maki immediately stroked Umi's head, which made Umi's heart feel even more calm and peaceful. A few minutes passed. Umi really hated herself for lying to you for her own pleasure. She felt bad for you for doing that. Maki also suggested that Umi should keep her distance from Maki for a while. But that didn't mean they were apart, and their relationship was over. Maki meant that he wanted Yumi to prioritize repairing her relationship with you first. Even though Umi doesn't play together at Maki's house, they can still chat, call each other every day like usual, and they can still meet at school. Umi immediately shut Maki's mouth because Maki decided it was hasty and unilaterally. Umi held Maki's hand and asked, "You have to be honest. Are you lonely if I don't play together and go on dates with you? Do you really want to continue this relationship forever?" Maki answered with his feelings. "Yes, I'm lonely. I also want to continue this relationship, but you have to fix your relationship with you, okay?" Umi felt difficult because she didn't know what to do to fix it, but Umi would try and Maki had to go with her now. At the same time, Manaka and Sana-e left the school roof and Nina there. Nina immediately approached you, who was sad on the school roof, and asked, "Are you sad, sis? How unusual." "Yeah, I'm thinking about something, sis. I think I need to think more from now on." Nina also gave a little advice to you, who was indeed an insensitive person and had difficulty reading her surroundings. After that she left from there. For those of you who are confused about who Nina is, she is a close friend of you and Yumi. But her role is only a support role, so she doesn't really stand out. Not long after, Maki and Umi returned to the school roof holding hands. You, who saw it, said, "You guys are really close, huh?" Yumi said that you and Maki are equally precious people in her life. There is no number one and number two. Umi also apologized for keeping her closeness with Maki a secret. Yu then cried because she thought Umi no longer wanted to be her best friend and preferred to be close to Maki, who was smarter, kinder, and more sensitive than herself. Yu immediately hugged Umi and also apologized because all this time she did not think about Umi's feelings during junior high, even not being sensitive to the situation Umi was experiencing. Sorry Umi, sorry Yu, they just kept like that, already forgiving, but saying sorry again. Umi also said that she intended to keep her distance from Maki temporarily so she could spend more time with Yu. Yu was surprised by their decision, but Maki assured Yu that Maki really wanted to value Umi's thoughts first. Yu did not accept the decision. Why? Of course, because Yu feels sorry for Maki if his beloved Umi leaves him. Yu doesn't want Yumi to spend a lot of her time for Yu by sacrificing like that. If it's like that, it'll just be the same as the old Yumi and will replace Maki's position with Yu. Therefore, Yu has the right suggestion and is a solution to this problem. She wants to see another side of Yumi when she's with Maki, and the first thing to do now is Maki and Yumi have to hold hands until the festival ends. Hush, hush, that's it, enjoy your intimate time. It's clear they were both embarrassed when Yu told them to do that, and they were also photographed by Nina.
Good job! 何撮ってんの？後で送るね。こら！
Well, in the end, they really enjoyed the school cultural festival together, and they still hold hands. Just glue your hands. And Yu tried to straighten out Yumi's problem with Monica and Sana-e. The drama-filled school cultural festival ended with a happy ending. The weekend that Maki and Umi had always been waiting for arrived. They spent their time together as usual at Maki's house, but this time there was Yu who saw their secret activities there. While covering herself over the blanket, Yu said, "Don't worry about me, I'm just a passing wind. Think of me as a ghost. You two just be affectionate." Hours passed, and Yu just sat on the sofa to watch their secret activities. Maki and Umi were so busy playing that they completely forgot about Yu's presence there. Well, nice try. You really were a ghost there. Umi and Maki finally noticed Yu's presence again, and Umi approached Yu to the sofa. What do you need with me? I'm just a ghost and a passing wind, said Yu. Umi apologized to Yu once again because she really wanted to stick to Maki all the time. So she asked permission to spend her weekends only for Maki from now on. Yu hugged Umi and allowed it, but instead, Umi had to be more open and discuss many things with this insensitive Yu. While it was still noon, Yu said goodbye and went home while saying, "It's time for a ghost like me to disappear. Umi doesn't need to come home. You stay here." Maki also wants to play with Umi longer, right? Maki denied a little, but Yu said fiercely, "Really? You want to play with Umi again, right? Yeah." Maki's definition of resignation is really resigned. And sure, Maki and Umi spent time playing games and even watching movies until nighttime. Umi, who saw that Maki was cold, immediately took a blanket while telling Maki to come closer to her body. "Eh?" said Maki. "Eh? Why are you saying eh? Come here, let's cover up together." Wow, Umi's aggressiveness made Maki's heart pound and blush. Maki got closer to Umi's body, covered up together, and Umi said, "Can I call Maki your front name now?" "Oh, okay. I also want to call your front name, Yumi, okay?" While Umi was blushing, Maki said softly, "Your laughing and blushing reaction like this is very beautiful and cute. No other girl can match it." Umi froze for a moment while feeling her heart pounding, and said,
私のこと好きでしょ。
He's clever enough to win Umi's heart and make Umi comfortable guys. It's not an introvert anymore. He's handsome and makes Umi smile. Because it was late at night, Maki took Umi home, and before Umi entered the house, she asked once again with her tender feelings, "Do you like me?" Maki answered, "What context do you mean by like?" he asked back. Then, "Do you like me?" Umi was the same as Maki, who found it difficult to say her feelings honestly. But Umi dared herself that she actually no longer liked Maki, but had loved Maki for a long time. Choo, 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 a cheek kiss that made Maki blush. And Umi said, "Later when you honestly say you love me, I'll kiss your lips. Bye my handsome man." Oh my god, I'm jealous, so jealous. Damn. Time skip to winter. One night, Maki had a dream about an incident that made him introverted. The nightmare was about his family being in disarray and ending in divorce. Maki then woke up panting, and he didn't expect to have that dream again now. As Maki got ready for school, he understood the trigger that made him nightmare. Anxiety about feelings in relationships. Even though a spouse loves each other, those feelings can still fade and end like Maki experienced. Maki was very happy because Umi confessed her love to him. Maki also loved Umi so much, but this anxiety made him delay confessing his love to Umi. Maki felt that he was not worthy to be with Umi. Therefore, Maki would try to be worthy so that the bad things that his family experienced would not happen. Until one day, Maki would say loudly and happily that Umi Asanagi is my beloved girlfriend. Not long after, Umi sent a message inviting Maki to go to school together, and Maki smiled again to start the school day this winter. While walking to school, Maki explained about making himself worthy. Before answering Yumi's feelings, and Yumi understood what Maki meant, then teased him because Maki was so brave to hang a girl's feelings like that. Umi said, "But the fact is, you still prioritize me, right? I'm an understanding girl. If it were with another girl, your cheeks would have been red from being slapped left and right." Because Umi saw Maki still sad because he was hanging her feelings, Umi immediately encouraged him, "Come on, don't be so sad. You want to be a guy who is worthy of me, right?" Umi, who saw Maki's chapped lips, immediately took out her lip balm and smeared it on her beloved Maki's lips. "Done. Take care of them, my handsome guy." Maki blushed a little because he thought that the lip balm was the one that Umi usually used every day. Hearing that, Umi teased him again. "Do you think this is an indirect kiss? I don't mind if you want a direct kiss either." Umi then explained, with a teasing face, that the lip balm she brought was new, and she gave the new lip balm to Maki so he could take care of his own lips, while whispering teasingly, "My honey, when we get closer, let's use the same lip balm together." When they arrived at school, Maki, who had just sat down, was immediately asked by Nina, "Are you really dating Umi now?" Yumi, who heard that, immediately approached Nina and did this. Not only Nina, Yu was also curious about how far Maki and Umi's relationship had progressed, because Yu saw that Umi was a bit awkward when she was close to Maki. Umi blushed and lied to Yu. "No, it's nothing, really. Your face is red, Umi." As Christmas Eve approached, Maki chatted with Umi about spending Christmas Eve together. "Pervert, you're probably going to ask me to go on a date in your room again, right?" "Oh my, they've already hung out in room, guys." Unfortunately, Umi already had plans for Christmas Eve, and Maki was very sad because he couldn't be intimate with his beloved Umi. Yu also gets a date invitation from a guy, but Yu declined because she was going to a Christmas party with her friends. Yu also blushed and said that she already had a guy she liked. Of course, Maki, Umi, and Nina overheard the whole thing. They eavesdropped. They immediately approached Yu so the guy wouldn't prolong the awkward situation. Actually, there was an event a few months ago held at the school's bulletin board. It was held at the town hall and was attended by students from all the surrounding high schools. However, only those who registered could attend, and unfortunately, Maki didn't care about it because he wasn't close to Umi at the time. Registration had long since closed, and Umi, Yu, and Nina were very sad that Maki couldn't attend. While eating their lunches, Maki reassured them that this was Maki's negligence, as he was indeed indifferent to what was going on around him. Maki hoped they could still enjoy the event. Nina then told them that she wouldn't be with the two most beautiful top-tier students at the Christmas Eve event at the town hall because she already had a boyfriend and was going to have fun with him. Coincidentally, a senior had confessed to Nina during the cultural festival that time. Oh, no wonder Nina was in such a good mood when she took pictures of Umi and Maki that time. It turned out that their conversation was being watched by a guy named Seki, who called Maki to the back stairs of the school. At first, Maki thought he was going to be blackmailed by Seki, but it turned out Seki just wanted to consult with Maki about Yu. On the first day of high school, Seki couldn't keep his eyes off the most beautiful girl in the school. Yu's beauty made Seki daydream and fall in love with her. Actually, Seki just wanted to see Yu from afar, but since it was already December, and they would soon be moving up a grade, Seki wasn't sure if he would be in the same class with Yu again. Therefore, Seki asked Maki and Umi for help to be a liaison between him and Yu. For example, there was an event on Christmas Eve with you, and Maki invited him to come along under the pretext of being friends. Maki immediately refused Seki's request because Maki didn't know him well. Hearing this, Seki apologized for his selfishness that had bothered Maki. Seki admired Maki because an introvert could actually refuse firmly in this situation. When Maki and Umi went home together, Umi felt hesitant about the joint high school birthday party because Tachibana High School was also participating. When Umi registered, she didn't see Tachibana High School there, but since Umi had already paid in full for the Christmas party, she had no choice but to attend. Honey, I'll probably grab a quick bite to eat and drink. After that, I'll head straight to your house. Is that okay? Christmas Eve at 8 or 9. Oh, of course it was okay. Maki would prepare some light snacks for her beloved Umi. The next day, Maki saw her mother daydreaming while smoking on the apartment balcony. Maki was used to seeing this because his mother had done the same thing about a year ago during the divorce proceedings. Even though time had passed, Maki still remembered her mother's state of mind and always made sure she was okay. Maki then asked for permission for Christmas Eve. As he left for school, Yu suddenly smiled happily because she thought she would also be invited to Maki's house on Christmas Eve. Oh my, Maki was obviously confused. Umi explained that when she called Yu last night, she made a slight blunder in bringing up the topic. Yu asked Yumi to go home with her after the joint school event was over, but Yumi declined because she had something to do. Yu could guess that Umi definitely wanted to be intimate with her beloved Maki on Christmas Eve. Yumi blushed and suddenly reflexively said, "Ah no, we're just a friend. Christmas Eve is just a friend's party, you can come too, Yu." Oh well, no more being intimate with Maki. While at school, Seki wanted to talk to Yu for a moment on the back stairs of the school. Nina, who saw that, already knew Yu's answer, so she wouldn't bring up their conversation. Besides, Nina also knew that Seki had long harbored feelings for Yu. Nina then imagined that if Maki confessed to Yu, it would be more interesting for Nina to see him. Oh, sis, your head will be messed up by Umi later because Maki only belongs to Umi. Nina's guess was right, Seki was rejected by Yu, and Yu immediately ran somewhere. Nina, who understood Seki's nature very well, asked Maki to accompany Seki for a while now. Meanwhile, Umi received a chat from Yu and immediately went to meet her too. When Maki met Seki on the back stairs of the school, Maki said that Seki was too hasty to confess his love. Maki tried to calm Seki, who was also thinking about the situation and gossip in class. Well, I heard them, but because they are beings from another planet, stupid me will not be able to understand their language. Seki laughed at Maki's introverted nonsense. Actually, Seki wanted to forget today's incident and his feelings, but forgetting is the hardest thing than remembering. Seki was even jealous of Maki, who had a beautiful girlfriend like Umi. Maki explained that he and Umi were not dating yet, because Maki was still making himself worthy for Umi. Seki understood Maki's good intentions for their relationship, but Seki's advice was that Maki should quickly confess his love to Umi and officially start dating. The guys at school noticed Umi's change. She'd become cheerful, smiled more often, and exuded a gentle charm since the cultural festival ended. They even asked to be introduced to Umi. Well, this was just a reminder to Maki, because whatever Maki decides, Seki will always support him as his brother. From there, a close friendship developed between Seki and Maki. After school, Maki told Umi about his friendship, and Umi was grateful that Maki finally had a guy friend. Thinking about Seki's previous suggestion, Maki invited Umi to the movies this weekend. They'd been going out on weekends less often lately, only spending time together on Fridays. Umi was so happy, she was so excited to be going on a date with Maki as a friend. She even wanted to fix Maki's clothes so he would look handsome on their date. Don't say, my honey. Your clothes are all trashed in the closet. I'll pick out outfits for you later, so my guy will be even more handsome. You can't refuse. Friday arrived. Umi, Yu, and Maki went to a clothing store that was very crowded that day. Yu was nudged by someone else and almost fell, but Maki reflexively helped her, and Yu accidentally held Maki's hand. Your hands are quite big, Maki. Ha. Using small talk, this blonde anomaly. Obviously, Umi, who saw it, became jealous and told them to just keep holding their hand. Maki, who saw Umi sulked, apologized and touched the back of Umi's hand. No, I'm not angry. Well, she said she wasn't angry, but she was grumbling inside. Then Maki held Umi's hand, Umi tightened her grip, and secretly blushed there. Yes, that's it. Yu smiled, seeing their intimacy, but we have to be careful because we can't guess the meaning of this blonde anomaly's smile. They then chose clothes for quite a long time because they were debating which outfit would suit Maki. After finishing buying an outfit, according to Umi's taste, Maki went to the toilet for a while, and Umi sent a chat that she would dress up as beautiful and cute as possible tomorrow. Maki smiled, and suddenly he bumped into someone when he came out of the toilet. It turned out that the person was Maki's father.
久しぶりだな、マキ。
父さん。
It had been a long time since they had last met during the summer vacation. Maki's father apologized because work had been extremely busy, making it difficult for him to find time to meet Maki. Maki did not mind, and they exchanged the usual small talk like a father and son. Not long after, Minato Kyoko approached them, and Maki's father introduced her to Maki. She was his subordinate, working together with him on a project at the mall. Maki then excused himself because he wanted to go home with his friends, and he did not want to disturb his father's work. Maki's face looked gloomy as he remembered his parents' divorce. After meeting Yumi and Yu again, Yumi seemed worried about Maki because she thought he had gotten lost in the mall. Yu even teased Yumi for fussing over Maki the whole time while waiting for him there.
無駄話はいいからさっさと行きましょうね。
Sista, you were only separated from him for a few minutes while he went to the restroom, and you were already feeling restless and anxious. They then stopped by a small restaurant to have dinner together, and Maki was still daydreaming about his broken family. Umi repeatedly called out to Maki to order some food, but he kept spacing out. She even ended up smacking him on the head because he kept ignoring her. Maki apologized for not paying attention and said that he was just a little tired. Yu and Umi were worried, but Maki reassured them that he was fine. Maki quickly ordered food, followed by Yu and Umi, and they laughed and joked around as usual. Of course, they ordered a huge amount of food. It practically looked like a mukbang. These two girls ate huge portions, yet somehow, they both still had slim and sexy body. Deep in his heart, Maki felt happy, because his daily life was filled with laughter around them. At the very least, he could slowly forget about the past and keep trying to think about his future, especially with Umi Asanagi, the girl he loved dearly. The next day, Maki dressed neatly and looked much more handsome thanks to Umi helping him with his style. Not long after, Umi arrived at Maki's apartment, and when he opened the door, he froze in admiration at how unbelievably beautiful she looked. Can I come in? I'm cold, you know. You're just standing there spacing out. Oh, right, come in. Maki then made some coffee and hot chocolate for them, and when he sat beside Umi, he still could not stop staring at her. You know, you've been staring at my legs this whole time. Umi had actually wanted to wear more modest clothes, but since this was an important occasion, she did not want to waste the opportunity and wanted to look as beautiful as possible from head to toe. She wanted to make Maki completely captivated by her beauty and cuteness because Maki was her male friend. Once again, friend. Umi purposely came to Maki's apartment first because she could not wait to show him how cute and beautiful she looked. So, what do you think about my appearance today? They both fell silent for a moment in embarrassment. Then Maki honestly said, "You look really beautiful today. I'm completely captivated and can't stop staring at how cute you are." Really? Then all my effort paid off if I managed to captivate you. Their awkward flirting continued playfully while they both felt embarrassed. After warming each other up with a romantic atmosphere that made everyone jealous, including me, they headed to the cinema to watch a movie. While walking, they held hands, and Umi did not want to let go because they were on a date now. Again, as friends, Maki was very grateful to have Yumi, who was willing to take care of him and help shape his appearance like this. He was self-aware that he was not the handsome type, and he believed his looks could not really be changed because those were simply his factory settings. He also did not mind being teased about his appearance. The most important thing to him was that no one laughed at Umi when she was with him. For example, Maki considered their first date a bad experience for Umi because she had to go out with a nerdy guy like him. In reality, Umi never thought that way. This was just Maki overthinking again. Maki then told Umi that he wanted to become someone who matched her tastes, so from now on, he hoped Umi could teach him about fashion and anything related to appearance. Umi responded, "My darling is much softer and sweeter today." When they arrived at the cinema, they immediately bought popcorn and cola. It turned out Umi had booked both the movie tickets and special couple seats. Without wasting time, they sat down, and Umi held onto Maki's arm. "Babe, is this okay?" "It's fine, babe. This is a couple seat. Look, everyone else is the same as us. Don't you like it when I hold you like this?" "Oh, I really do, my pretty girl. You're so not used to being honest with your own feelings." After finishing the movie, Umi was extremely annoyed because the storyline was unbelievably trashy, so bad that she even fell asleep on Maki's shoulder out of boredom. Would have rather watched a giant shark versus giant crocodile versus giant octopus versus military battle movie instead. What the hell, man? They also stopped by a restaurant and ate there, but they were not satisfied because the portions were too small. In the end, they went to another restaurant to eat again until they were completely full. Crazy. After that, they went to a karaoke place and sang together affectionately while drinking cola and snacking again. It was already close to midnight, and they sat together on a bench in the Christmas park. Because Umi was cold, she clung to Maki again, even slipping her hand into his jacket pocket, already holding his hand, and now holding his arm too. "No. I'm jealous. In your pocket, there's something warm, my handsome man's hand." Then Umi asked, "Maki, what do you think about me?" Maki suddenly remembered Umi's promise that she would kiss him if he was honest about his feelings. "But Maki, I'm not forcing you. I just want to hear it directly from the deepest part of your heart. Can you?" "I can, my dear, but if I say it here..." Maki looked around and saw many other couples also enjoying their time there. "Then just whisper it in my ear so no one else hears." Blushing, Maki immediately brought his lips close to Umi's ear. "Hey, Maki, that tickles." Just as Maki was about to whisper again, Kyoko suddenly appeared from afar, who apparently was on a date there with Maki's father. "Maki, is that someone you know?" "Yeah, that's my father and his subordinate." "Huh? They seem way too close for a boss and employee." Shortly after, Kyoko linked arms with Maki's father, and Maki was completely shocked by what he had just seen. Maki asked Umi to go home because the situation felt really bad, but Umi suddenly hugged him and hid his face against her big boobies. "Shh, don't move yet. They're walking this way," Umi whispered. After Maki's father and Kyoko were out of sight, Umi released him from her embrace, and Maki apologized to her. "Huh, Maki, why are you apologizing? You didn't do anything wrong. The one who's wrong is..." "No, it's not Minato's mother's fault. And my father isn't wrong either. It's just bad timing." Once again, Maki suppressed his feelings to avoid making the situation worse. He then escorted Umi home because it was already very late, and he did not want her mother to worry. After escorting Umi home and returning to his own apartment, Maki saw his mother once again smoking while absent-mindedly staring out from the balcony. She apologized for showing him something unpleasant again. Maki did not mind, and he tried to comfort her while thinking about what he had seen earlier at the Christmas park. Maki's mother also asked about his date with Umi that day, and she advised him to immediately send Umi a message expressing his gratitude and appreciation for the date. According to her, that was the proper thing for a gentleman to do and could help maintain their relationship for a long time. She also encouraged her beloved son for his next date with Umi. Maki then interrupted the conversation because he wanted to ask his mother something sensitive regarding Minato Kyoko. However, he decided not to ask because he did not know whether his mother would react calmly or instead sink deeper into sadness. Maki stared blankly ahead with a pale expression until his mother snapped him back to reality. She assumed that Maki was simply exhausted because today's date must have drained his energy. Maki's mother said she would prepare dinner first so he could rest soon afterward. Actually, every month, specifically on Fridays, Maki usually had a scheduled meeting with his father. However, lately, his father had been extremely busy, so they had not been able to meet. Maki's mother had just received a message from her ex-husband saying that he had personally decided the schedule for meeting Maki this time. This made Maki's mother increasingly uneasy because normally her ex-husband would adjust the schedule according to Maki's availability. Maki did not mind if that was what his father wanted. After all, his father had consistently continued supporting both Maki and his mother financially until now. Maki then asked asked his mother whether she still had feelings for her ex-husband. Maki's mother let out a sigh and admitted that even though they were already divorced, there was probably still a small, lingering affection hidden deep within her heart. Whenever she looked through the family photo album, she felt happy because she had once shared many joyful moments with him. She did not want to throw the album away, and instead chose to keep it as a treasured family memory. They had gone through many things together, even before Maki was born into the world. Maki had only just discovered that his family actually had a family photo album. As he looked through the pictures together with his mother, her beautiful smile shone brightly while she told stories behind those photos to him. Seeing his mother's reaction only strengthened Maki's resolve not to ask about the sensitive thing he had witnessed earlier at the Christmas park. Maki simply wanted to live peacefully without any more chaos in their family. However, one thing still lingered in Maki's mind. Did his mother know that Minato Kyuko had a close relationship with his father? And if she did know, had she learned about it after the divorce, or even before it happened? Because of that, Maki decided to bury all of those thoughts deep inside himself and forget about them. For him and his mother, this was the best choice. A few days later, Umi came to Maki's house earlier than usual and was invited by Maki's mother to look through their family photo album. "Whoa, little Maki is so cute," Umi said excitedly. Both Umi and Maki's mother were thrilled as they looked at all the adorable photos of Maki. Maki, who had just finished putting on his school uniform, curiously asked what all the fuss was about. Umi was especially happy today because she had secretly kept one cute photo of her beloved Maki inside her bag. She teased Maki because it was the first time she had ever seen him smiling so happily like he did in those pictures. Most importantly, you absolutely must not see these photos because Maki belonged only to her. Besides, Maki's mother did not mind at all when Umi asked to keep one of the photos. After that, Umi suddenly looked a little sad, as if she was thinking deeply about something.
その写真は今どこに？
私のカバンの中、特に赤ちゃんのマキの。
その先は絶対に言うな。
ママ、ママって言いながら私にくっついてきてね。
Maki's mother then left for work, but after reaching the apartment lobby, she realized she had forgotten her cigarettes and lighter. She called Maki and asked him to bring them down for her. Maki noticed the dark circles under his mother's eyes growing worse day by day. He knew that his mother was a hard-working person who stayed busy every single day. Because of that, Maki understood why she smoked so often to relieve the stress from her work. Before leaving, Maki's mother reminded him not to talk too much about their family situation to Umi. Then she said goodbye and headed off to work.
仕事頑張ってくるね。
いってらっしゃい。
Umi and Maki had breakfast together, enjoying some very delicious pancakes. Maki then asked Umi if it would be okay for him not to spend time with her on Friday, because he was going to meet his father as usual. Worried, Umi asked, "Are you really okay? What about the woman who works under your father?" Maki replied that he was fine because it was only an ordinary dinner meeting, and he would ask his father about it later. Deep down, Maki still felt uncomfortable seeing his father with another woman. School exams were also coming up soon, so Umi and Maki planned to start studying together from today onward. They also intended to invite you and help tutor her. During lunch at their usual base camp, Maki asked Yu for permission to invite Seki to join their study group. Yu casually replied, "Sure, the more people, the more fun. But what snacks are you making today, Maki?" Maki was a little surprised because Yu was allowing Seki to join even after previously rejecting him. Still, setting that aside, Maki decided to make pancakes again, since the ingredients were still available in the kitchen. Of course, Yu was extremely happy because she loved eating while somehow staying slim. Umi immediately grabbed Yu's face and reminded her that their goal was to study, not have a mukbang of Maki's food. While teasing her, Umi said, "Oh, our beautiful princess who keeps getting failing grades and remedial lessons, we need to teach you how to study first, before you're allowed to feast on pancakes later." As they walked to Maki's house, Seki was full of admiration and respect for Maki because he had successfully invited him to join this study group. Seki was a little hesitant since Yu had rejected him before, but Maki reassured him that Yu had agreed to it, so there should not be any problem. The most important thing was that they would focus on studying together, with no time for fooling around later.
おう、
補習になんのは俺はごめんだからな。
After arriving at Maki's house and studying together around the kotatsu table, Seki asked about everyone's rankings at school to lighten the atmosphere a little. While joking around, it turned out that the smartest person there was Umi Asanagi, followed by Maki, while Seki and Yu ranked the lowest. Umi and Maki were safely ranked high enough that they could stay in the same class during their second year of high school. Unfortunately, Seki and Yu were in the danger zone and might not end up in the same class as them. Yu was actually very lazy when it came to studying, but Yumi encouraged her by saying that if she truly wanted to stay classmates with them, she needed to work harder. Meanwhile, Seki secretly kept watching Yu because he could not lie to himself anymore. He still liked her even now.
勉強やだ。でも海と別クラスになるのはもっとやだ。
A few minutes later, Yu became confused about one of the subjects she was studying and asked Maki for help. Seriously, why not ask Umi when she is obviously smarter than Maki? Good grief. Just as Maki was about to explain it to her, Umi suddenly moved closer to him, shyly holding his hand, taking advantage of the moment. Huh, Umi? Well played. Maki became startled and embarrassed too, causing Yu to ask, "What's wrong, Maki?" "Oh, it's nothing. You were confused about this part, right? So basically, you do this thing here, then you do that thing there, and somehow it turns into that thing over there." Umi also noticed that Seki had made a mistake in his math calculations. But before long, Umi and Maki started secretly rubbing and caressing each other's hands back and forth under the table. Seriously, keep rubbing those hands until you two get warm already. Pretending to tutor their friends just so Seki and Yu would not notice their flirting. And on top of that, they were holding hands so tightly too. You two are seriously love-struck.
By the way, I want to.
When they took a break and enjoyed the pancakes together, Yu was extremely happy because she had finally gotten to eat the pancakes Maki made, which she had been looking forward to all day. Seki could not take his eyes off Yu's beauty. Then Umi noticed that some pancake cream had gotten stuck on Maki's cheek. "Is it on my left cheek or the right, darling?" "Right there, darling." "Well, I guess I have no choice. Come here, let me get it for you. Open your mouth. You're like a little kid." "Well, it just happened today, darling." Umi then took the cream off Maki's cheek and ate it herself. For them, it was completely normal, but Seki and Yu were right there watching everything. Naturally, they complained, "Can you two stop acting lovey-dovey unless you're alone together? It's like we don't even need to be here."
そういうのは二人きりの時にやってくれないかな。
地面に罪はない。
Yu ended up feeling like a third wheel again, and now Seki joined her too. Are you guys jealous?
Same here.
Honestly, Yu admitted that she envied how sweet and happy Umi and Maki's relationship looked. She even said she wanted a boyfriend like Maki someday. A total green flag guy who could cook, was fun to be around, and cared deeply about others. Oof, those words stabbed straight into Seki's heart and made him feel even worse. Maki was shocked too, especially Umi, who immediately started overthinking. Umi quickly responded, "Wait, aren't you into guys with incredible stamina, amazing skills, and super high specs? If you had a boyfriend like Maki, your poor boyfriend would run out of energy trying to keep up with you all the time. Well then, maybe I'll just want Umi instead." And there it goes again. Here they go, causing chaos once more.
じゃあ海が分身すれば解決だね。できるか。
That night, Seki and Yu thanked them for the delicious snacks before heading home. Umi asked them to leave first because she wanted to talk to Maki about something. As soon as Seki and Yu left Maki's apartment, Umi immediately hugged Maki tightly from behind and said, "I'm really sorry, darling. I know I can be such an annoying girl, but please let me hold you like this for a little while longer. There's something that's been bothering me." Maki asked worriedly. "What's wrong, darling? Did something happen today?" "It's about what you said earlier when she said she wanted a boyfriend like you. I don't want that. I really don't want you to steal you away from me. She can take away my childhood friend if she wants, but she can't take you away from me, darling. If you disappeared from my life too, I honestly wouldn't know what to do anymore. I still haven't healed from the wounds in my heart caused by everything you did to me before." Umi tightened her embrace around Maki even more. Maki gently asked, "Can you loosen your hug for a second, sweetheart? I want to turn around first. No, I don't want you to see how messed up my face looks right now." I don't mind at all. Besides, I've already seen you cry like this many times before. Listen to me, my love. It's okay, darling. You don't need to worry about that because you're the only person I have my eyes on. So sweet. Hearing Maki's comforting words made Umi smile brightly again, and her heart finally calmed down. Maki wanted to walk his beloved girl home, but Umi shook her head and said, It's okay, darling. I don't want to rely on you that much. But before I go home, I want to hold you a little longer.
When will it be my turn? I want that too.
海の泣き顔なんてもう見慣れてるし。
マキのバカ。もうちょっとだけこうしてたいなって。ありがとね。いいけど。
On Friday, just as Maki and his father had promised, they arranged to meet directly in front of an expensive restaurant. While waiting for his father, Maki chatted with Umi, who was extremely worried about him. Maki reassured her that this was just a normal meeting after not seeing his father for such a long time. Umi also recommended several delicious dishes and desserts that Maki absolutely had to try at the restaurant. She herself had never tasted them because they were far too expensive. Honestly, she was very jealous that Maki got to enjoy such luxurious food for free. After Maki's father arrived, they began ordering food, eating together, and talking about many things. Maki directly asked his father the question that had been bothering him. Did he still love his ex-wife? And if he no longer loved her, was it because he had chosen to love Miss Minato instead? Did he still care about Maki? Maki's father answered that he no longer loved his ex-wife Maki's mother. Even though he had once fought for custody of Maki after the divorce, he still cared deeply about his son. However, he did not clearly explain his feelings toward Miss Minato. He only swore that he started his relationship with her after the divorce last year. That answer only made Maki even more upset and convinced him that his father truly loved Miss Minato. Whether it happened before or after the divorce no longer mattered to him anymore. In Maki's mind, romantic feelings could indeed fade away. But one thing remained certain: parents would still love their child even if the family ended up breaking apart. Maki's father apparently already knew that Maki had been on a date with a girl before, and he admitted that he never expected Maki to catch him together with Miss Minato at that moment. Soon after, Maki's father hurriedly prepared to return to the office because of sudden work matters. Maki tried to stop him because there were still several questions he desperately wanted answered. However, before he could continue, a girl named Nina suddenly shouted angrily nearby while talking on the phone with her boyfriend. Both Maki and his father were distracted and approached Nina after she finished the call. Nina was shocked because she never expected to run into Maki there. She explained that she was supposed to have a dinner date with her boyfriend at the restaurant. Her boyfriend had told her to order food first, promising that he would pay later. But after waiting for a very long time, Nina called him again, only for him to suddenly break up with her on the spot. Nina was furious because she realized she had been lied to and cheated on. The bigger problem was that Nina only had around 1,000 yen with her, while the food she ordered cost 2,000 yen. At first, Maki's father wanted to pay for Nina's bill, but Maki immediately glared at him with frustration. He told his father not to interfere because, to Nina, he was just a stranger. Maki then took Nina's bill, brought her to the cashier, and decided to pay for it himself. Before leaving, he asked his father one final time, with an irritated tone, "Do you really love Miss Minato?" His father only replied, "Someday, you'll understand the answer to that yourself." As Nina and Maki walked home together, Nina asked Maki to buy her a coffee from a convenience store first. She promised she would repay him later, so he did not need to worry about it. After buying the coffee, Nina invited Maki to talk for a bit outside the convenience store. After witnessing what happened earlier between Maki and his father, Nina finally understood the reason behind Maki's introverted personality. Maki then asked her, "Do your parents get along well?" Nina answered that her family was fairly normal overall. There were times when her parents fought fiercely, but they would always make up again afterward. She added that, after their huge arguments, she could even hear her parents reconciling in their bedroom later that same night. All night long, Nina heard her mother's erotic voice as she felt the pleasure of climax with Nina's father's huge missile. What Nina truly wanted to tell Maki was that the frustration he kept bottling up inside could someday explode like a time bomb. Suppressing anger for too long was an extremely dangerous thing. Nina understood this very well, and she could immediately tell how upset Maki was, just from the expression on his face while he spoke to his father earlier. She advised Maki to rely more on Umi, because Umi would always be there for him. Nina told him to ask Umi for help calming his heart so that his bottled-up emotions would not eventually explode. She gave this advice because she already knew just how dangerous that kind of time bomb situation could become. Nina added, "Well, you two always hang out in the bedroom, right? If you need it, get a Sonagi to clean your pipes. She will spoil you completely." My wife Nina is very direct. After that, Nina said goodbye and thanked Maki for helping her that night.
じゃ、今日はありがとね。
心配してるだろうから海に電話するよ。
そうしな。
A few days later, Maki's mother prepared breakfast, leaving Maki surprised because it was unusual for her to have so much free time early in the morning. Maki's mother explained that she simply wanted to show her motherly side to him more often. She also said that she wanted to take a temporary break from work for around 2 or 3 months. Afterward, she planned to think carefully about her future job while improving her work habits so she would not constantly overwork herself anymore. Still, there was a slight hesitation in her expression as she said those words, making Maki worry about her condition and tell her to reduce her smoking.
あと、タバコも本数減らさないとね。
While Umi and Maki were walking to school together, Maki told Umi about his mother's decision. Umi agreed that constantly working non-stop was unhealthy. Unfortunately, though, it meant that Umi and Maki could not flirt around freely at Maki's house anymore, especially inside his room. Seriously, these two were already getting addicted to acting lovey-dovey before even officially dating. Then Umi informed Maki that her parents had invited him over for dinner at their house on Friday night. Apparently, Umi's father was extremely curious and really wanted to meet Maki. Wow, were they already preparing him to become the future son-in-law or what? Maki immediately rejected the invitation. No way. But Umi kept persuading her beloved Maki, and even though Maki continued refusing at first, once he saw Umi's cute pleading smile, well, it became incredibly hard to say no to her.
や
だじゃない。マキの顔をじっくり見てみたいんだって。父さんが。
During the lunch break at school, Umi and Maki told their friends about it. Yu had already expected that something like this would happen, and all she could do was pray for Maki's safety. Maki was clearly confused by Yu's reaction. What was wrong with Umi's father? Was he really that scary? Normally, Yu would have said something like, "You're so lucky to have dinner at Umi's house. I want to go too." Umi quickly clarified that her father was not scary or anything like that, so Maki had nothing to worry about. If anything, Yu should focus on dealing with her own issues involving Riku, Umi's older brother. Yu simply replied, "Riku? Who's that? Sorry, I don't remember him." "Hey, that's so mean. How could you forget my brother?" Seeing Yu act so indifferent, Maki was surprised. It was the first time he had ever seen her show that side of herself in front of her friends. Normally, Yu was friendly toward everyone. This only made Maki even more curious about what Umi's father and older brother were actually like. Seki then pointed out that Maki's luck was incredibly high. This week, he would get to spend time with Umi's family, and next week, he would be able to enjoy the joint Christmas party event held by several schools at the city hall. Maki explained that he had not been able to sign up for the event because registration had already closed by the time he found out about it. Upon hearing this, Nozomu Seki immediately contacted his older sister, Tomo Seki, who served as the student council president at their school. Tomo explained that several participants had recently canceled their registrations. However, the event had a strict policy that no new participants could register after the official deadline had passed. That said, Tomo mentioned that Maki could still attend by taking the place of a student council member who would be unable to participate. Instead of attending as a participant, Maki would join as an event staff member. He would still be able to enjoy the food during break times as well. Maki's friends were delighted to hear that. At the very least, they would still be able to spend time together at the joint Christmas party event. Seriously, he got in through the student council connection and even became part of the staff. That's some real insider privilege right there.
クリスマスはずっと海と一緒に過ごせるんだ。
よかったね、海。何のこと？
Friday finally arrived, and Maki was already prepared to visit Umi's house. Earlier that day, Maki's mother had called Umi's mother to thank her for inviting her son over for dinner. It seemed that Maki's and Umi's mothers were slowly becoming close friends themselves. After finishing the call, Maki's mother returned to the dining table and sat there quietly for a moment. Sensing that something was wrong, Maki asked, "Mom, did Dad say something to you?" His mother answered somewhat nervously, saying that Maki's father had simply sent the same kind of messages he usually did. However, Maki interrupted her, and eventually she decided to tell him what was really going on. Her ex-husband had recently learned about her current job, and he had criticized her harshly for it. He believed that her work situation was indirectly placing an emotional burden on Maki. Maki's mother worked tirelessly for a publishing company and rarely had time to stay at home. As a result, Maki often found himself feeling lonely, and his father had become concerned about his son's mental and emotional well-being. The truth was that Maki's mother had always been aware of the consequences of her decision. Even so, she continued working out of pride. Although it was Maki's father's responsibility to provide financial support for the family, even after their divorce, she refused to rely entirely on the money he sent her. She wanted to prove that she could raise Maki on her own without touching a single yen from her former husband. There was another reason as well. Her work helped distract her from the pain and lingering emotions surrounding their divorce. Looking down, Maki's mother apologized to him. "I'm sorry, Maki. My selfishness as a parent ended up making you feel lonely all this time." She then promised that she would always be there for him, even if their family could never return to the way it had been before. After that, she told Maki not to worry about it for now, and to head over to Umi's house as planned. They could continue this conversation another time.
いらっしゃい、マキくん。
After arriving at Umi's house, Maki was warmly welcomed by Umi's mother. He handed her a gift package as a token of appreciation from his family. Umi's mother happily accepted it and invited him inside right away. As soon as he entered, Umi noticed that her beloved Maki looked incredibly nervous. She then escorted him to meet her father in person. Good grief, Umi's father was huge. He was incredibly tall, broad-shouldered, and had the face of someone who could easily be mistaken for a delinquent. It was no wonder Maki was trembling a little. After everyone introduced themselves, Umi's father thanked Maki for taking good care of his precious daughter. Unfortunately, his naturally intimidating expression made the gratitude sound more like an interrogation. Fortunately, Umi's mother immediately stepped in to lighten the mood. "Oh, honey, why are you making such a scary face? Maki's here, you know. Smile a little. Come on, smile. Umi, help me tickle your father until he does."
やめていいよ。はいはい。
No matter how tough or intimidating a man looks, he tends to melt instantly when his wife starts teasing him. That's one of the benefits of having a loving partner. Maki was amazed by how lively and cheerful Umi's family was. Meanwhile, Umi's mother busily prepared dinner for her beloved family. The menu was especially extravagant tonight since they had an important guest, their future son-in-law. A little later, Umi's mother asked her husband to call Riku downstairs. Maki had been curious about him, so he asked Umi what her older brother was actually like. Umi answered without hesitation. A gamer, unemployed, a loner, always locking himself in his room. "Oh, and lately he's been really obsessed with you." He suddenly started trying to get close to her for no obvious reason. At that moment, Maki finally understood why Yu had reacted so coldly whenever Riku's name came up. Her indifferent attitude wasn't random at all. It stemmed from her personal issues regarding Riku's feelings toward her. Dinner was finally ready, and to Maki's surprise, Umi's mother chose to sit right beside him at the table. Naturally, Umi did not like that at all. Her beloved Maki was supposed to be sitting next to her, not getting all the attention from her own mother. Umi's mother simply laughed and said that they had not had any guests over for a very long time. Besides, this was no ordinary guest. According to her, Maki was a potential future son-in-law and an important part of Umi's future. Umi immediately protested, her face turning bright red. Before the teasing could go any further, Umi's father stepped in and told them to stop bothering the poor boy. Eventually, mother and daughter settled down, though Umi's mother could not resist one last joke. "Why don't you feed Maki yourself, Umi?" The suggestion instantly made both Maki and Umi blush. Although she refused to spoon feed him, Umi still ended up serving Maki throughout dinner, placing food on his plate whenever he needed something. The scene looked so natural that they almost resembled a married couple. While they were eating, Umi brought up a multiplayer game she wanted to play later. She had recently gotten the newest version in the series and was eager to try it out. Turning to Riku, she asked for permission to borrow the game, so she and Maki could play it in his room afterward. She then jokingly told her older brother to go find a job while they played. "Come back after we're done." Riku immediately complained, but everyone else simply laughed. This kind of cheerful banter was completely normal for Umi's family. Their household was lively, warm, and full of affection. As Maki sat there watching them joke, tease one another, and laugh together, he finally realized what Umi's family was really like. They were happy. They were close. They were the kind of family that genuinely enjoyed spending time together. At that moment, a tear suddenly rolled down Maki's cheek. He did not even realize he was crying. The laughter around the table gradually faded as everyone noticed his reaction. Umi's family immediately became concerned, and the cheerful atmosphere that had filled the room moments earlier was replaced by a heavy sense of sadness. No one needed an explanation to understand that Maki was thinking about his own family. Looking at the warmth surrounding him, he could not help but remember the family he once had and how different things had become. For a moment, the dining room fell completely silent.
どうかした？
マキ、もしかして気づいてないの？
When Maki was still a child, he had once lived in a happy and harmonious family. Back then, he was surrounded by love. Both of his parents cared deeply for him, and his days were filled with simple joys. They ate meals together, talked about their day, laughed together, and shared countless precious moments as a family. To young Maki, his parents were the source of almost all his happiness. However, everything gradually began to change when Maki entered middle school. His father started coming home later and later. Eventually, there were days when he barely came home at all. The atmosphere within the family slowly shifted. The dining table that had once been filled with 3 people became occupied by only Maki and his mother. Before long, as the problems within the family worsened, Maki's mother grew quieter. The conversations between his parents became less frequent, and the affection they once openly showed each other slowly faded away. The warmth that had once filled their home gradually disappeared, replaced by an uncomfortable silence. Then came the divorce. After his parents separated, Maki changed. He became withdrawn and introverted, preferring to stay inside his room rather than spend time with others. Day after day, he shut himself away from the outside world. His mother became increasingly busy with work, leaving Maki to eat alone most days. Instead of going out with friends, he spent most of his time at home, playing games, watching movies, and eating junk food. Without realizing it, the cheerful and energetic boy who had once laughed together with his parents had slowly become someone who spent his days alone, finding comfort in fictional worlds while avoiding the loneliness of reality. Back in the present, Maki apologized to Umi's family for making the atmosphere gloomy. He did not even understand why his tears had started falling on their own when he did not feel anything in particular. Maki excused himself and asked for permission to step outside for some fresh air and to clear his mind.
高校生にもなってとんだ甘ったれだ。恥ずかしい。情けない。かっこ悪い。何やってんだよ俺。
Not long afterward, Umi ran after him because she was worried. Maki told her to stay inside the house, but Umi stubbornly insisted on trying to comfort him. After seeing him in that condition, there was no way she could simply leave her friend alone. Maki tried to run away because he wanted some time by himself first. However, Umi continued chasing after him until she finally caught up. The moment she reached him, she wrapped her arms around him from behind. Umi offered herself as a warm embrace and a shoulder for her beloved Maki to lean on. Silence hung between them for a moment. Maki finally spoke, saying that he was being childish and that he felt embarrassed about the state he was in. Umi gently reassured him that they were still children themselves and that he was thinking too far ahead. It was okay for him to lean on her like this. He could let himself be spoiled for once and rely on Umi to release all the anxiety, loneliness, and worries he had been carrying for so long.
ありがとう、海。
だから今は何も考えないで、私にいっぱい甘えていいからね。
Umi then took Maki to her room, where he confessed that he still could not fully move on from his past. He had always believed that he was strong enough to handle his family's situation and that it no longer affected him. But it seemed he had only been convincing himself. Umi gently placed Maki's head on her lap and told him that it was okay to rely on her. She encouraged him to let himself be spoiled for once instead of carrying everything on his own. According to Umi, Maki was an amazing guy for enduring so much and making it this far, despite all the difficulties he had faced. She wanted him to stop thinking about those painful memories, at least for tonight, and focus on enjoying himself and relaxing with her. As Maki lay there, his eyes gradually became heavier with sleep. Just before drifting off, he once again heard Umi's sincere confession of love. Held gently, in Umi's embrace, Maki slowly gave in to his drowsiness.
私はずっと大好きだからね。
Morning arrived, and Maki woke up with puffy, sleepy eyes. The first thing he saw was his beloved Umi lying right beside him. Thanks to Yumi comforting him throughout the night, Maki finally felt at peace again. Sounds a little suspicious, doesn't it? Don't let your imagination run wild, guys. I already know what you're thinking. Wait, Maki slept in Umi's room? They spent the whole night together? How did Maki calm down so quickly? What exactly did Umi do for him? Does that mean all those times they were in the room together, they weren't actually playing games? Then what were they doing? Relax, everyone. Only the author knows what they did that night and during all those previous visits to Maki's room as well. Haha. Umi was also extremely happy to see that her beloved Maki was feeling better. More than that, she got to watch his adorable sleeping face, just like always. So, babe, how was it? Sleeping on my lap felt nice, right? Blushing, Maki replied. It felt warm, comfortable, and smelled nice. See, I told you, this isn't just about sleeping on someone's lap. There are way too many ambiguous details here, seriously. Maki felt that Umi had done so many things throughout the night to help him feel better. However, Umi insisted that Maki was the one who had done more to make her happy. It was Maki's kindness that made her love him so much, and in her eyes, he was the greatest guy in the world. The room then fell silent, as both of them found themselves wanting to do something, though neither said it aloud.
海、マキくん。
And then caught red-handed. This time, it was Umi's mother who caught them. She had been knocking on Umi's bedroom door over and over again, but Umi had not heard her at all. The two of them had been so absorbed in their conversation and emotions that everything else around them had completely faded into the background.
朝ごはん食べたらお話ししましょうね。
はい。
Umi's mother gave them some advice. She told them that she was not against Umi and Maki kissing, but that they should always be mindful of the time and place before doing something like that. More importantly, she explained that without proper maturity and careful consideration, people can sometimes get carried away, since a kiss is often one of the first steps that can lead to a deeper romantic relationship. She did not want Umi and Maki to go through the same difficulties and experiences that she and her husband had faced in the past. Hearing that, Umi's father could only blush in embarrassment. Well, if you've been paying attention to the story, you can probably guess what Umi's mother was implying. Haha. After that, Umi's father asked Maki to step outside with him so they could have a private conversation in the yard.
マキ君、ちょっと二人で話そうか。
Umi's father already knew about Maki's family situation from what his wife and Umi had told him. He said that Maki's reaction during dinner the previous night was completely understandable, considering everything he had been through. He advised Maki to talk openly with his parents and express the feelings he had been keeping inside. Maki should be honest with himself and do what he truly felt was necessary. Carrying such emotional burdens alone for a long time could be very harmful to a person's mental well-being. Umi's father explained that it was admirable for Maki to care so deeply about his divorced parents, but that did not mean he had to suppress all of his own feelings by himself. Even if his parents could never be together again, at the very least, Maki deserved the chance to let them know how he felt. Family divorce is something that places a heavy burden on children everywhere. It can be especially difficult for someone like Maki, who is sensitive, kind-hearted, and gentle by nature. After listening quietly, Maki found himself reflecting on those words. They resonated deeply with him, making him realize that perhaps he had been carrying far more than he should have on his own.
よく頑張ったな、マキ君。
はい。
Afterward, Maki returned home. When he entered the dining room, he noticed several cigarette packs on the table, a family photo album, and a note saying that his mother had gone out to buy groceries. As he flipped through the photo album, Maki found himself crying once again. The pictures reminded him of how happy he had been in the past, back when his parents were still together. More than anything, he wished he could return to those days. But no matter how much he longed for it, he knew there was no way to restore his family to what it once was. Still, there was one thing he could do. Maki immediately picked a date and marked the upcoming anniversary of his parents' divorce. It would soon be 1 full year since his family had fallen apart. After making his decision, Maki took out his phone and sent a message to someone. For the first time in a long while, Maki felt as though he was finally ready to face the feelings he had been avoiding.
一つの区切りにするんだ。
In the student council room, Maki and his friends attend a meeting to help the student council prep for tonight's Christmas party. Once the meeting wraps up, Maki asks Tomo for permission to step away from the event later for about 15 minutes. Tomo asks if something happened to him, but since she does not want to pry too much, she quickly gives Maki the green light and treats those 15 minutes as Maki's little break time. Nozomu has to help Tomo cover Maki's duties during those 15 minutes.
喜びなさいよ。こんな綺麗で可愛いお姉ちゃんと一緒なんだから。
After that, Yu, Umi, and Maki head back to the classroom to pack up their stuff. Yu asks what Umi's plan is after this. Umi says she is going home for a bit, having lunch, then heading over to Yu's place later. Yumi says she is not going all out with her outfit today, and honestly, there is nothing wrong with just wearing her school uniform. That is already good enough for tonight's Christmas party. Yu immediately teases her. Oh, nothing wrong with it, huh? You sure you only want to keep it basic with the school uniform? Kinda looks like somebody got all nervous. Happy the moment Maki said he could come to the party. Yumi instantly facepalms Yu again for running her mouth, even though deep down, Umi totally wants to show that beauty side of herself to Maki. Aw, Sundari mode activated. Then Umi asks her beloved Maki if he will be okay meeting someone alone later. Maki reassures his precious Umi that he will be fine, and that he will definitely need her right after his plan is finished.
本当に一人で大丈夫？
本番の時だけそばにいてくれればいいから。
After that, Maki meets the person he had previously contacted through chat. To be honest, Maki's plan is not exactly polite behavior because it involves both of his divorced parents. Even so, Maki is going to do something to satisfy his own selfish wish as their child, just like the selfishness his parents showed when they chose to divorce. Turns out, Maki contacted Minato Kyuko as part of his plan to finally settle the feelings he has been bottling up all this time. Kyuko had given him a business card the first time they met. Flashback to when Maki called his father and asked him to make time to talk about Maki's future. At first, his father refused, saying he was too busy with work. But Maki came up with his own excuse too. He said he wanted to go to college, and the school he had in mind was closer to where his father lived. So, for a while, Maki would be staying at his father's place. Hearing that, his father finally promised to make time to talk with him. Maki then invites Kyuko to sit on a park bench so they can talk about his father. Kyuko tells Maki that his father actually already has plans that cannot be cancelled at the time Maki picked. That has been giving his father a massive headache because he is struggling to manage his schedule, especially since Maki suddenly wants to talk about his future out of nowhere. At first, Kyuko thought Maki was the quiet, shy type of kid, but apparently, this quiet kid can send his dad into a full 360-degree panic spiral. Maki says that, yes, he is naturally quiet and shy. But this time, he has decided to make the adults lose their minds by acting selfish, sulking, and rebelling like an actual child. Maki also wonders why Kyuko agreed to meet and talk with him in the first place. Kyuko explains that Maki's father has been acting strange and restless lately. Because she was worried something might have happened, she agreed to meet Maki. Kyuko wants to help Maki's father in any way she can because she truly loves and cares about him. She says she used to be just a clueless, ordinary employee, but Maki's father kept believing in her until she became the person she is now. Kyuko then lowers her head to Maki and asks, "Would you be willing to live with your father forever? Your father does not need me to be his new partner. What he really needs is you. Every time he talks about you in front of me, he gets so excited. He always smiles. And that smile is something Kyuko rarely gets to see when they are together. Hearing that, Maki gets seriously upset and hurt because Kyuko has no right to say something that bold to him. On top of that, she is basically nobody to Maki. Kyuko understands that, and she knows she will probably hurt Maki's mother too. But she is ready to accept any punishment as long as Maki agrees to live with his father. She is even ready to leave Maki and his father's lives completely and quit her current job. Maki flat out refuses to live with his father and says he does not care about any of that. Then he tells Kyoko to make time later.
湊さん、この後時間作れますか?
After that, Maki heads to the City Hall auditorium for tonight's Christmas party. A lot of students are already there, and Maki is working at the attendance desk in front of the hall. Tomo walks over, and Maki thanks her for letting him step out for a bit during the party later. Tomo then tells Maki that next year, she will no longer be student council president. Not long after, Yu shows up wearing a dress that is so ridiculously gorgeous that every student gets stunned on the spot. They even think Yu might be some famous actress or model. Well, yeah, technically, that is her future job. Tiny spoiler, Yu is gonna become an idol with her cousin. To everyone simping for Yu, congratulations. Me? I am Team Nina? No debate. A moment later, Umi arrives in an elegant navy blue off-shoulder dress, and Maki just freezes because Umi looks insanely beautiful tonight. Babe, your dress is really pretty. Umi looks away a little because she is embarrassed, and Maki says again, ahem. Seriously, you look so beautiful and sweet, babe. Yeah, okay. Stop it already. In Maki's mind, Yu is beautiful too, sure, but only Umi can make his heart go full drum solo. She is not just pretty on the outside, her personality is beautiful too, like an angel permanently renting space inside his heart. No monthly fee required. Then Maki snaps himself back to reality and says, damn, am I really this smitten? Yup, you are cooked, Maki. And the funniest part? You two are just friends. Then Nina arrives, and Yu and Umi are surprised, asking why Nina is not with her boyfriend. Nina immediately starts crying cutely because she could not come with him due to a bunch of unexpected stuff. Well, technically ex-boyfriend now.
まあ、いろいろありまして、とぼつにぼつって。
No, my precious Nina. I'm here for you because I love you, Nina.
Maki already knows about this because he saw it happen himself. Nina got dumped because her boyfriend chose cheating instead. Garbage tier male. Nina deserves better. Just give Nina to me. To get rid of her sadness and heartbreak, Nina wants to vent by helping Maki and the others. The Christmas party finally begins. Nozomu comes to take Maki's place at the attendance desk, and it is finally time for Maki to carry out his plan. His friends are worried, but Maki smiles and says goodbye to them. Maki quickly meets his mother under the Christmas tree at City Hall and tells her that he already got permission from the student council president for this. Maki also apologizes for making his mother go out of her way to come there. Maki's mother says she does not mind and asks, "What did you want to talk about, Maki?" Not long after, Maki receives a call from Kyuko, and right after that, Kyuko arrives there with Maki's father. Of course, Maki's parents are shocked because they have not seen each other in a long time. Maki apologizes because he lied to both of them just to satisfy his selfish wish right now. Everyone falls silent, and then Maki shouts, "Are neither of you even going to ask how the other is doing? It has been so long since you met." Maki's mother looks at Kyuko and says, "I am no longer with him, so you are free to do whatever you want with him." Kyuko feels guilty because, honestly, she has not done anything with Maki's father until now. The argument between Maki's parents becomes impossible to avoid. At first, Maki's father tries to leave because he thinks this is only wasting time, but Kyuko stops him. At the very least, he should listen to what Maki has to say for a moment. Maki then takes both of his parents' hands and says, "Please, stop fighting and make up. Stop arguing. I do not want to choose one of you. I will study harder, exercise more, be nicer, do anything better. I just want to be with both of you and go back to being a whole, happy family like before. If it is not with both of you, then I do not want to go anywhere."
俺は二人と一緒がいいよ。もっと頑張るから。勉強も運動も。どっちかなんて嫌だよ。ってことで、俺からの話はこれで終わりだよ。
Finally, Maki is able to let out all the feelings he has been holding in alone since middle school. Maki apologizes to his parents because he is only saying it now, when everything is already too late. Not long after, Umi comes over to Maki because the Christmas party is on a short break. Maki immediately holds Umi's hand and introduces her to his parents. Maki says he does not want to go anywhere because he will stay here with the girl he loves. She was the first friend he ever truly made. An amazing girl who made him fall in love and taught him how to love someone. Then Maki asks his parents for one final thing. He wants to take a photo with them under this Christmas tree. Maki asks Umi to take the picture, but Umi refuses because she is not good at this whole photo taking thing. So Umi calls Nozomu, Yu, and Nina out of their hiding spot behind the bushes. They had already been there ever since the party break, and Umi asks Nina to take the final keepsake photo of Maki with his parents.
No! I'm crying. Damn it. Getting down, heartbroken, ghosted, become somebody pleasure, whatever it is, my tears fall and I can still stand back up. But when it comes to family stuff like this, nope, I'm done.
After that, Maki and his friends continue the Christmas party and have fun together. Just as Umi expected, Manaka and Sane are also there. Umi originally wanted to end her friendship with them, but after seeing Maki manage to face and resolve his own problem, Umi also starts wanting to be friends with them again. She will not forget the painful things that happened in the past, but she also has the heart to forgive them. Manaka and Sane try to apologize at first, but Umi stops them because, honestly, all she should have done back then was step closer to her friends again. But at the time, Umi did not do that. She simply surrendered to the situation and just followed wherever the friendship drifted. Manaka and Sane start crying because they actually realized the huge mistake they made back then. But they did not have the confidence to apologize because they thought Umi would never forgive them after hurting her for years. Yeah, in the end, they make up, and Umi warns them that if the past ever repeats itself, they better be ready to catch one of Umi's heavy punches to the face. This one is tough. Girls' friendships are way more complicated than guys' friendships. Guys are simple. As long as the other person is a living creature, boom, instant friend. Even after fighting, they still call each other by name. Girls? Nah. First comes the drama, then the silent treatment. Then after a while, nobody even knows what the friendship status is anymore. The Christmas party ends, and Maki walks Umi home. Umi changes clothes and then heads to Maki's house. While holding hands and walking together, Umi looks at the photos they took with their friends and her beloved Maki after the event ended. They are happy, enjoying their high school days together. Maki never thought he could smile this happily now, even though his family has already fallen apart. All of this is thanks to Umi Asanagi. In the past, Maki was not comfortable taking group photos, but now he enjoys it because he can look back at the memories he made before they are slowly swallowed by time. Even so, Umi Asanagi is the one who changed his life so much, and Maki will always love her. Maki then confesses his love to Umi, saying his feelings are more than just friendship. Maki does not know what will happen in the future. Maybe Umi and Maki will fight someday, and maybe they will not even want to look at each other's faces. But even if that really happens, Maki will keep staying by Umi's side and give everything he has for the person he loves. Maki will keep trying to become the best man he can be for Umi forever, and he will not let the dark tragedy of his family happen again. And finally, will you be my girlfriend? Then once again, he tells her that he truly loves Umi Asanagi. Umi's tears start flowing harder, and even harder. She hugs Maki while crying because Maki has completely melted her heart. And that love confession is the one Umi has been waiting for all this time. Umi is sure that Maki is about to cry too, and her prediction is dead on. Maki cries, and all of us watching start crying too. They keep hugging each other for quite a long time, like seriously. They are marinating in that hug. Your embrace is so warm. Oh, I am glad. And then, in the beautiful silence of the night, they kiss.
こうして俺たちは友達から恋人になった。
Umi and Maki are officially dating now. Look at these two lovebirds clocking in for couple duty in Maki's apartment. Umi and Maki are munching pizza, drinking their favorite cola, and Umi starts poking Maki's belly because, day by day, her guy is getting a little fluffier. Maki wants to poke her back, But hold up, there is literally nowhere safe to poke on Umi. What is he supposed to do? Poke the forbidden area? Nah, that is a whole different department. By the way, all the fat got teleported to that twin mountain, apparently. And yes, I still love Nina, even though she is built like flat plywood. Turns out, Umi has secretly been working out to keep her body slim, fit, and perfectly dangerous, so Maki falls even harder. She even offers him her arm to poke, just to make it fair. After all, Maki is her boyfriend now. The second they realize that, both of them turn red, like their brains just got error 404. Maki politely asks permission to gently pinch Umi's arm, and then this man really says, it feels the same, still kinda squishy. Yumi immediately goes into sulky girlfriend mode. She wanted to be praised, like, "Aw, my baby worked so hard, your body looks amazing." From now on, he needs to be way more sensitive, because weight, fat, and body shape are basically every girl's final boss. Umi even tells him, "Just so you know, babe, saying, I like curvy girls is not gonna magically make me feel better." After that, they play games like usual until midnight. Umi should already be heading home, but she does not want to let go of her precious boyfriend. She hugs Maki's arm, and Maki feels the same way. "Me too, babe. I still want to stay with you. But babe, we promised our moms we would not do anything weird. So in that case, can I get a hug and carry me too, please?" The second Umi pulls out that spoiled girlfriend voice, Maki activates boyfriend sprint mode, hugs her, and carries her, but his lower back taps out like an old office chair.
My back!
When they arrive in front of Maki's apartment, Umi says he does not need to walk her all the way home. She wants to walk by herself while processing her feelings, because she finally has a boyfriend, and not just any boyfriend, but the guy she truly loves. Of course, they both get blush again. Yumi says goodbye and tells Maki to go to sleep early tonight. But the next morning, Maki suddenly feels weak, dizzy, and completely cooked. When Maki checks his temperature, bro, 39.6 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. That thing hit the ceiling and punched it. Maki quickly takes medicine while feeling relieved that his family issues are finally settled. His mom has also started working again today, so Maki will be home alone. He messages his beloved Umi too, so she does not worry if he suddenly goes radio silent. Not long after, Umi and her mother came rushing in, and Umi was clearly panicked because her boyfriend had a fever. Her mom says she is taking Maki to the doctor immediately. Maki weakly asks, "Wait, how do you two have a key to my house?" Umi's mom explains that she got the key from Maki's mom last night while they were drinking together. Turns out, Maki's mom had already thought about making a spare key, because she was sure Umi would always be around Maki anyway. Whoa, these moms are officially besties now. This is what it feels like when your relationship gets approved with zero drama. After the doctor's checkup, it turns out Maki only has a regular fever and should recover with medicine and full rest. Umi's mom decides to bring Maki to Umi's house so he can be properly cared for and pampered. Maki's mom already gave permission too. On the way to Umi's house, her mom goes straight for the emotional damage. "So, sweetheart, you're relieved. Maki is okay, right? This morning you were panicking so hard, waking me up like, 'Mom, Maki is in trouble. Maki is in trouble.' Even at the clinic, you were practically losing your soul." Umi admits she was genuinely worried because Maki was perfectly fine last night and then suddenly got sick this morning. While holding Maki's hand, Umi says she wants him to get better, and she does not want to suddenly be unable to see him because of something like this. Maki apologizes to Umi for making her worried and sad. After Umi prepares Maki's futon at her house, Maki asks, "Am I staying here until I recover?" Umi says yes, because Maki's mom already allowed it. Well, technically, it was mostly Umi's idea, but when she sees Maki's reaction, she instantly knows he is overthinking again, so she hugs him and calms him down. In Maki's mind, he thinks he must be bothering Umi and her family. He believes he could just rest alone at home. But Umi reads that thought like she unlocked girlfriend telepathy, then hugs him even tighter with maximum comfort mode. "I'm your girlfriend, babe. I can understand what you're thinking, so stop worrying about weird stuff, okay? Just focus on getting better first. I love you so much exactly the way you are, my dear Maki." After that, Maki lies down and tries to sleep. But then, Umi slowly opens the door and immediately gets caught by her boyfriend. "Ah, sorry, babe. I just wanted to see whether you could sleep or not." Once, twice, 3 times. Umi keeps checking on Maki because she is that worried. She wants to stay beside him the whole time and refuses to relax at home while her boyfriend is sick. Sis, please breathe. Maki just has a fever, not a final boss curse. Maki calms her down by saying, then take care of me, okay, babe? Those words instantly make Umi's heart explode with happiness, because taking care of the guy she loves feels special to her. Umi holds Maki's hand, and Maki says, hold my hand, babe, until my fever goes down. Umi can spoil her beloved Maki as much as she wants while he is there, so Maki does not need to hold back. Dinner time arrives, and Umi lovingly feeds her boyfriend. This time, they are not fake dating like back at the restaurant. Nope, they are the real deal now. When a girl enters full love-struck mode, she will definitely do everything for her boyfriend. I guarantee it. So, for anyone out there who already has a partner as clingy and loving as Umi or Maki, be grateful. Do not waste them. Do not cheat on them. Whether you are a guy or a girl, that person might be someone's last piece of love and hope before heartbreak drains them dry. For the guys, marry the girl who supported you from the bottom, and do not abandon her when you hit your peak. For the girls, choose a sane partner, not a walking life challenge. And if you are married, do not start looking at another man when your husband falls during a hard time. Support him, pray for him, and ask God to open the path for his blessings and livelihood. Be affectionate at home, make each other happy, because that can be one of the doors that brings more blessings into the family. Dang, why did this suddenly turn into a relationship podcast? Sorry, folks, my bad. Hearing Umi and Maki getting all lovey-dovey in the room makes Umi's dad start worrying. What if they get carried away tonight, since they allowed Umi to sleep beside Maki? Umi's mom calmly reassures her beloved husband because Maki is sick and weak, so even if he wanted to start some spicy couple nonsense, his power bar is basically empty. Well, honey, if anything happens, Umi would probably be the one starting it anyway.
襲うとしたら海の方かしらね。
Umi's mom teases her husband because he is extremely protective of their only daughter. Like mother, both of them love teasing their partners. When bedtime comes, Umi looks like she has already fallen asleep peacefully. Maki keeps staring at her because his precious angel is just too cute and beautiful. Umi, I love you so much, babe, Maki whispers before going to sleep. In his heart, he feels grateful to have Umi, someone who cares so deeply and worries about him. Umi is the only girl Maki loves. When Maki is about to gently stroke Umi's face, he stops himself. But suddenly, Umi says, "Aw, babe, you're not gonna pat my face. Say that thing again, please." Maki gets shocked because Umi was awake the whole time. Then he gently touches her face while blushing and says, "I love you, my dear Umi."
私もマキのことが大好き。
The next day, Umi tells Maki she will step out for a bit because you and Nina invited her to hang out at a restaurant that morning. Maki's fever has gone down a little, so he feels okay and plans to keep resting. Umi also messages him from time to check on him. Not long after, Umi's mom asks permission to enter Maki's room to clean up a little. She tells him she is grateful that her beloved daughter has someone like Maki. Back then, Umi was super wild, hyperactive, and could not sit still to save her life. Whenever she got scolded, she would cry loudly enough to shake the neighborhood. She even accidentally once slammed her forehead into the corner of a table so hard that it bled a lot. Her parents were extremely worried, but thankfully nothing serious happened. The scar is still there even now. Umi's mom is happy because her daughter's sweet side appears more often now, thanks to Maki. It is her first time seeing Umi like this, and sometimes she teases her own daughter about Maki just to see her reaction. Umi's mom thanks Maki for being a good partner for Umi. She hopes Maki will stay by Umi's side forever and always be there for her, anytime and anywhere. She truly cares about Maki too, because he is the one who made her tomboy, soften, melt, and become this sweet.
お邪魔します。いや、本当に久しぶりだな。
Around noon, you and Nina drop by Umi's house because Maki is being nursed there. Nina immediately says the quiet part out loud. Umi is actually pretty aggressive. Huh? They just started dating yesterday, and now she already has him staying over at her house, with parental approval and everything. Umi denies it while blushing and clarifies that Maki is in the guest room, not her room. Besides, Umi's mom is helping her take care of him too. Maki wakes up after hearing their chaotic conversation and has no idea what to do.
Well.
He cannot even hide now. Yu and Nina immediately go to the guest room and greet him. Hello, sick boy lying over there. Aw, look at Maki all pale like this. You look like a living mummy. Bro, we came to visit you. Yumi apologizes to her boyfriend for disturbing his rest. This all happened because Yumi kept checking her phone while they were eating at the restaurant. They got curious, made Umi explain, and now here they are. Yu and Nina tease them like there is no tomorrow. Oh, I saw Umi when she arrived at the restaurant looking all panicked, like, my precious boyfriend is sick. So cute, right? Usually, Umi eats like she is filming a mukbang, but earlier she had no appetite at all. Turns out she was thinking about her boyfriend at home. My handsome baby is sick, so I cannot enjoy tasty food unless he eats tasty food too. So sweet. Umi is blushing so hard. She starts squeezing my dear Nina's head again. Hey, Umi, chill. My Nina is melting over there. Yu and Nina are also curious about what Umi and Maki did on Christmas Eve. If they ask Umi, she will be too embarrassed to explain, so maybe innocent, honest Maki can give them the full details. Do not answer these two dumb girls. Just rest, okay? Look at Yumi getting shy at full power. Even Maki, who is lying down, starts blushing too. But Yu and Nina do not give up and keep interrogating Maki. Oh, are you thirsty, Maki? I'll give you something to drink, Yu says, trying to bribe him with a drink. Then Nina continues. Class rep, what did you say when you confessed to Umi yesterday? You slept with Umi, right? So how was it? Did anything spicy happen? Like... Hell nah, Nina, your mouth has no brakes. I am not lying. Nina said that herself. Flat-chested, but dangerously aggressive, my beloved wife is built different. A few days later, Umi keeps taking care of her beloved boyfriend, sleeping beside him, still somehow finding time to be all lovey-dovey, and finally, after a week, Maki fully recovers. Umi is extremely happy. Since her boyfriend is finally better, Umi shyly asks for a reward, another sweet kiss on the lips. Then the two of them start kissing each other, and the romantic mood lasts for quite a while. Keep going, you adorable little romantic gremlins. Now I am jealous. New Year finally arrives, and they plan to visit the shrine for Hatsumode, their first shrine visit of the year. Nina and Yu are going to wear the yukata they prepared. They continue teasing Umi, because she is obviously going to wear a yukata too and show off her cute, pretty side to charm her beloved Maki even harder. Umi is head over heels in love, and at this rate, the couple chaos is definitely coming, says Nina. Hey, Nina, enough. Girl, calm down. They finally arrive at the shrine, and Yu asks Maki what he thinks about her yukata. Maki says, oh, it looks nice, Amami. Nina tells him he should choose better words when complimenting a girl, so Umi falls for him even harder. Maki also compliments Nina's yukata, but Nina does not really care because she knows she and Yu are basically third wheels today. Nina then introduces the main heroine of this early morning, Umi Asanagi, wearing a blue ocean kimono style with a flower pattern, plus a side hair ornament shaped like red roses and white jasmine. She also has a soft white fur scarf and a gentle yellow obi with a flower design. Maki is completely stunned by how beautiful his precious Umi looks and says, you look so beautiful today, babe. That kimono suits you perfectly. Babe, you already said that a bunch of times before we left. Nina and Yu are so happy seeing this sweet couple finally being honest with each other. After they finish praying at the shrine, they draw omakuji fortunes to check their luck. Umi and Maki both get the best fortune. The message basically says they should not take the present days for granted. They need to keep doing their best to find happiness and protect it forever. Yu gets a less lucky fortune for the future, while Nina is skeptical about the whole omakuji thing. Nina also invites everyone to tie their fortune papers to the board strings, called musubibako, and drink warm amazake to help with their skin, digestion, and body temperature. Nina and Yu head there first, and Umi asks Maki what he prayed for. Maki says he wants everyone in his life to have a happy and healthy year. He does not want to get sick again and make Umi worry, because health is one of the most precious things that lets him keep staying beside Umi he loves.
Boko. あんまり心配かけちゃ嫌だからね。
気をつけるよ。
One night, Umi and Maki are gaming together like usual, but their position tonight is definitely not usual. Umi is the one who tells Maki to hug her from behind, so the gaming setup feels extra comfy. And yeah, it really is comfy, but Maki's heart is going full boss battle mode. One wrong move and bro is entering the danger zone, not to touch the 2 Mountains D cup size. They can't even focus on the game anymore. Now they're just flirting and teasing each other. Umi teases her boyfriend, saying, "Babe, you're acting so sus. I was already mentally prepared my boobs if you wanted to get a little handsy, you know." And she says that while giggling too, like, "Girl, don't start a boss fight if you ain't ready for the counterattack." They keep gaming in that clingy position and refuse to let go until they finally clear the stage. Umi is insanely happy tonight because she gets to game while being hugged by her precious boyfriend. But Maki ends the gaming session because it's time for Umi to go home. Of course, Maki knows his girl still wants to play and stay all lovey-dovey, but he reminds her that they have to keep the promise they made to their moms.
まだ帰りたくない。だろ？
まだ何も言ってないし。
わがまま言わずに、ソラさんと決めた門限を守ること。
On the way to Umi's house, Umi says Valentine's Day is coming soon, and she wants to make special chocolate with all her heart for her beloved Maki. Once they arrive at Umi's place, they wave goodbye, and in Maki's mind, he says, "I never thought February 14 would become something this special to me. So this is what it feels like to date the girl I love." Valentine's Day finally arrives, and Nina hands out friendship chocolates to everyone in class. "I want chocolate from my sweet Nina too." Yu tells Maki that she, Umi, and Nina are going to make friendship chocolates together later, so he better get ready to receive them. Yu also teases Umi because this is her very first Valentine's Day as Maki's girlfriend. So obviously, Umi has been waiting for this and is going to give Maki a special love-flavored chocolate. Yu is having the time of her life teasing Umi because Umi's cute side keeps leaking out non-stop. Maki and Umi stare at each other, and Umi gets all blushy right there. The next day, Nina and Yu come to Maki's apartment to give him the friendship chocolates they made. But Maki keeps looking around for Umi, and they tell him that Umi took the ingredients back home and is still trying to make chocolate because she isn't satisfied with the result yet. After that, Maki serves them warm coffee while still worrying about Umi. He already texted her, and she said everything was fine and that she would come to Maki's place soon. But Maki still can't stop worrying about his precious Umi. Nina reads the room instantly and tells Maki to just call her instead of waiting around for a text. Nina totally understands because Umi looked like she was struggling hard when they were making chocolate together. Besides, Nina and Yu are about to leave soon anyway. Maki takes Nina's advice, and when he calls Umi, the background sounds like a full-on kitchen disaster movie. Haha. But Umi, with her stubborn pride, keeps insisting that she's fine. After thinking about it, Maki says he is going to his beloved Umi's house right now to check on her. And yep, the moment Maki arrives at Umi's house, he sees a bunch of chocolate trial runs on the table, and oh lord, some of those things don't even look legally edible. Umi apologizes to Maki because she really isn't good at cooking stuff like this. She tried her absolute hardest, but the results were rough. She says her last batch is already in the oven, and it should be at least more edible than the failed experiments sitting on the dining table. Maki doesn't say much or make jokes about it because he can clearly feel how disappointed Umi is. Umi loses confidence in front of her precious boyfriend because she feels like she couldn't show that cute, domestic, girlfriend side through cooking. She even scared Yu and Nina earlier because the chocolates she made at Yu's house looked like they came from a horror event. Still, she hopes Maki will try the final batch. Maki says he wants to eat the chocolate Umi made, but he can also feel how deeply disappointed she is because she couldn't meet her own expectations. Umi serves the chocolate to Maki, and he says it tastes really good. He says he genuinely likes Umi's handmade chocolate, but when Umi tries it herself, she gets even more disappointed because the taste still isn't what she wanted. So Umi realizes she needs to spend more time in the kitchen if she wants to make delicious chocolate and food for Maki. Not long after, Umi's mom comes in and offers Maki dinner. Maki happily accepts, but because he is still thinking about Umi's disappointment, he asks Umi's mom for permission to use the kitchen again. Umi's mom allows it and even offers to help them with whatever they want to make. But Maki says he wants to use the kitchen with Umi, just the two of them. He wants to continue from the last chocolate Umi made earlier. Of course, Umi is shocked because that means she and Maki will be cooking chocolate together alone in the kitchen. Maki says he wants Umi to make chocolate one more time, this time with him by her side. Basically, Maki wants Umi to feel satisfied and reach the result she actually hoped for, a special chocolate treat that tastes good enough for him. Damn, Maki is so understanding, by the way. Umi's mom quietly leaves the room because she doesn't want to interrupt her daughter being all sweet with her future son-in-law. Haha. Umi agrees to Maki's idea, but she still worries that it might not taste as good as the current one. Maki says, "It's okay, babe. Whatever you make, I'll eat it because anything made by you is the best food in the world." Whoa, Maki's Riz landed clean. He's cooking for real. And Umi's mom is secretly eavesdropping too. Whoa, smooth one, Maki. So, sweetheart, wanna make chocolate again with your beloved boyfriend? And boom, Umi gets her motivation back because this time she gets to cook together with her precious Maki. Umi's mom just laughs because her adorable daughter really found an ideal life partner like Maki. After the chocolate is finished, or more accurately, after the chocolate sponge cake they just made is done, Maki tries it and becomes really happy because Umi finally pulled it off. Maki adds that he can taste the love Umi poured into the cake. Ooh, Maki's sweet talk is so dangerous. But Umi is so happy hearing his gentle words, and thanks to her beloved Maki, she can finally smile again. Maki is actually really smart here. He knows Umi failed at making chocolate, so he smoothly redirects her into making a chocolate sponge cake, which is clearly easier to pull off. But the most important part is how Maki comforts his precious girl. At first, Umi was disappointed because the chocolate didn't match her expectations, but Maki changes that expectation by staying with her from start to finish. That way, Umi can't feel disappointed anymore because her love meter is already maxed out during the whole process of baking together. That's how you treat your girl. Guys, learn from Maki. That's the correct play. Don't be a useless deadbeat boyfriend who only makes your girl suffer. Bro, White Day arrives, and Maki makes chocolate cookies for his friends. He makes them not too sweet, so you and Nina can snack as much as they want without worrying about sugar overload or weight stuff. Nina is impressed because Maki actually pays attention to those little details, which basically makes him premium house husband material. Umi immediately jumps into the conversation and says she wouldn't mind if Maki stayed home all day. That way, Umi could take care of him non-stop without worrying about her boyfriend wandering off somewhere. You really want to stick to Maki 24/7s, huh? So sweet. Maki then asks, "Babe, aren't you going to open my White Day gift now?" Yu instantly teases Umi because she already knows Maki definitely gave Umi something special, something different from everyone else's gifts. Umi is already melting, but then she tries to bonk my Nina again because she's too embarrassed. No, no, no. Umi is wild. My precious Nina has been catching hands since certain episode. When Umi opens Maki's gift, it turns out to be colorful candies that aren't too sweet. Maki researched the meaning behind White Day gifts. Chocolate cookies mean a strong friendship forever, but colorful candy means. Maki pauses and starts blushing. Yu and Nina just munch on their cookies while watching the couple's romantic little show, and they already understand what Maki is trying to say. But Umi still doesn't know the meaning. Then Maki whispers it into Umi's ear, and both of them turn red together.
海ってばわかりやすい。ああ、なんとなく答えわかったわ。
あなたが好きです。
April 3 finally arrives, and today is Umi Asanagi's 17th birthday. Maki has already prepared a birthday gift for Umi, and he plans to give it to her after the party at Yu's house. Umi is curious about what her beloved boyfriend prepared for her, but she decides to wait until present opening time. By the way, the two of them walk to Yu's house while holding hands the whole time. They don't let go at all. Bro, just get married already. After they arrive at Yu's house, it turns out Yu is so rich. Any future boyfriend is going to feel broke just stepping through that door. They are warmly welcomed by Yu's mom. And finally, Yu's mom gets to see the boy Yu always talks about as Umi's boyfriend. Yu's mom is genuinely happy because her precious daughter finally shows interest in boys. Yu gets embarrassed because her mom casually tells everyone that. Hearing it, Umi feels a little sad because there is still something strange in her heart that she hasn't been able to tell Maki. They quickly prepare the yearly tradition for Umi's birthday party. Of course, Manika and Sane are there too, and they all hug each other. Nina also jumps into the group group hug, even though she isn't super close to Minaka and Sanaya yet. Whatever, just do it. Then, it is time to give Umi her presents. Out of all the gifts she receives, the one Umi is waiting for the most is obviously the one from her beloved boyfriend. There are so many third-wheel mosquitoes in the room now. Nina, Monica, Sane, Yu, even Yu's mom. Yu's mom asks, are they really that lovey-dovey? Is that why we feel like background NPCs right now? Nina answers, yes, ma'am. Extremely. They're down bad for each other. It's like the whole world only has the two of them in it. Maki then gives Umi his gift and says, happy birthday, my love. Umi, who has been curious this whole time, immediately opens Maki's present, and inside, there is a birthday card handwritten by Maki. When Umi opens the gift box, she finds a beautiful blue rose hair clip. Blue roses symbolize calmness, peace, commitment, trust, and loyalty. They can also symbolize first love, with the hope that two people will stay committed to each other forever. A blue rose hair clip usually matches beautifully with an evening party dress, giving off an elegant and aesthetic charm because it feels different from the usual accessories. Umi is completely captivated and insanely happy with the beautiful gift from her beloved Maki. Maki chose the hair clip because he knew Umi would look even prettier wearing it. Maki is secretly poetic too. Every gift he gives has meaning behind it. Umi immediately tries it on, and Maki is happy because his choice really does suit her perfectly. Meanwhile, everyone else is still being third-wheel mosquitoes, smiling from the side, haha.
綺麗だよ、海。
Umi promises to treasure that expensive hair clip forever. Yu watches their sweet moment and becomes speechless. Now, guys, this is the point where the light novel drama should start. And this is also where Yu starts getting haters from readers. I'll explain that at the end of the video. That night, while Yu is cleaning up the party dishes, she asks her mom, Mom, do you think I'll ever find someone who can bring out my sweet side like Umi? Yu's mom says Yu absolutely can find someone like that. After all, Yu has already received so much love from both of her parents. Now she just has to find what kind of partner can make her heart feel happy every day by filling it with love.
天海優の新しい季節が始まろうとしていた。どんな人をこれから私は好きになるんだろう。
Maki and Umi take a little detour toward a cherry blossom tree that is still blooming. Maki brings Umi there because there is something he wants to tell her. Maki actually doesn't like spring that much because every new school year, he has to introduce himself again. As an introvert who never expected to have many friends, that kind of thing always made him embarrass himself. But this year, as he enters his second year of high school, he is actually looking forward to spring because Umi is now with him every step of the way. Maki knows there is a chance he and Umi might end up in different classes, but that won't change their bond because they will always stay together. On top of that, Maki has more friends now, Nozomu Seki, Yu, and Nina. Maki isn't lonely or alone anymore, thanks to all of them, but especially thanks to Umi, the girl he loves so deeply. Maki thanks Umi for becoming his first friend after he entered high school, for falling in love with him, and for becoming his girlfriend. Because of Umi, Maki was able to get through all the complicated things that happened before. Maki also knows Umi has something she has been wanting to say. He has noticed the uneasy feeling sitting in her heart. After hearing that, Umi finally starts talking about the difficult things she couldn't tell Maki before. Umi was actually scared that Maki might get bored if she talked too much about what was inside her heart, because honestly, she wants so much from Maki. Umi wants to cling to him and be spoiled by him all the time. She gets jealous easily and wants Maki to pay attention to her every moment. Umi leans against Maki's chest while hiding her embarrassed face, and Maki hugs her while listening to the honest feelings of his beloved Umi. Umi says Maki is her boy, her boyfriend. No other girl is allowed to get close to him because Maki belongs to Umi. Maki's gentle, kind, and thoughtful personality is something hard to find in other guys, and it is the dream of every girl. Not just his personality, but everything inside Maki belongs to Umi forever. After hearing that, Maki hugs his precious girl even tighter and says that everything Umi just said is proof of her love for him. So Umi doesn't need to bottle up those feelings anymore, she can tell him directly. She doesn't have to worry, because Maki belongs to Umi forever. Whoa, the romance just exploded. Guys, this is insane. I'm hugging a pillow right now. What else can I hug? A door? Fine, the door will do. After they hug for a while, Umi notices something different about Maki, his height. Last year, Umi was taller than Maki, but now Maki is taller. And then, Out of nowhere, Umi kisses Maki on the forehead and says, "You have to grow even taller. Okay, babe, tall enough that I have to stand on my tiptoes just to kiss you. I like tall guys, you know." Maki answers with his handsome smile, saying he might not be able to grow that tall, but he can definitely become Umi's ideal husband someday.
頑張れマキ。
これからもずっと俺は海のものだ。俺たちはまた新しい季節へ一歩踏み出していくんだ。
And that's it, guys. Season 1 is over. Peak rom-com anime. Confirmed. No debate. Haha. Now I'm going to talk about the light novel, but the video visuals will still use scenes from the anime. Okay, guys. I mentioned earlier that Yu has haters among light novel readers, right? Here's the rough version. In the anime, Yu says she is curious about what kind of guy she will fall in love with, and that Yu will be entering a new season and her own story. Well, in the light novel, after some time passes, Yu finally realizes her own feelings for Maki, even though Maki and Umi's relationship has already gone pretty far. Then there is a moment where Yumi notices Yu's behavior and realizes what Yu is feeling. Because of that, Yumi very reluctantly steps aside so Yu can confess her feelings to Maki. Maki is confused, of course. Why is Yu suddenly acting like this? And what was the trigger that made her fall in love with Maki even though it happened too late? The trigger is basically the whole process of Yu becoming friends with Maki. Little by little, Yu realizes that Maki is what people call a green flag. The problem here is that Yu confesses after Maki and Umi have already been dating for a long time. LN readers think, why didn't you just hide her feelings? Why swerve into your own friend's lane and make Umi jealous like that? But from Yu's point of view, realizing her feelings too late is something painful but also precious. Yu decides to let go of that love and chooses to protect her friendship with Umi instead. Even though Yu and Umi both end up feeling awkward and guilty, the important thing is that Maki stays with Umi forever, guys. That's the good part about our MC here. Maki isn't confused about who he wants in the future because he has already committed himself as Umi's life partner. Thank goodness this series doesn't have drama stamped all over the genre. Pure rom-com. Thank you very much. I already warned you guys not to waifu Yu too fast, unless you understand her character from every angle. If you misunderstand Yu's character too deeply, you're just going to hurt your own feelings. If I were you, I wouldn't confess like that, because it would only create awkwardness later. The guy already has a girlfriend, so just let that love fade on its own. But Yu is different, guys. She confesses not because she wants to steal Maki, but because she doesn't want to live with future regret like, I should have told him back then so I could finally move on. Yu simply lost the timing, because Umi and Maki already had that secret backstreet relationship from the beginning. If the situation were reversed, if Yu had met Maki first, she probably would have ended up dating Maki, because Umi was still busy dealing with her past. Honestly, both Yu and Yumi's stories are kind of painful. Maki sees Yu as a friend and doesn't overly worship her beauty or treat her like the #1 prettiest girl in class or school. And ironically, because Maki sees her that way, Yu finally experiences what it feels like to be seen by someone who knows her as Yu Amami, not as the prettiest girl in the class or school. Yu eventually falls in love with Maki and confesses to him, but everything is already too late, so Yu buries that love deep inside. Now let me tell you a little bit about what happens next in the light novel. Volume 10, the final chapter, is scheduled to release in Japan on July 1. But the story spoilers are already out there. So, here's the deal, guys. In Volume 10, the final part of the Kuranika series takes place after they graduate from school. They're in college now, and their relationship gets even sweeter. This becomes the thing Maki has been fighting for the most because he is planning to propose to Umi. But before reaching that stage, Maki has to think about everything from every angle. He has to be fully prepared and mature before marriage. From proposing to Umi, to the wedding, to life after the wedding. Umi is known as the second prettiest girl at school, and she is also smarter than her friends. And guess what? Umi becomes a teacher. Adult Umi's version is Shu, absolutely dangerous in the best way. And Umi and Maki even live together. They aren't even married yet, but they are already sharing a place. Then Yu becomes an idol together with her cousin, Monica. Nozomu Seki and Nina start job hunting, and Nina eventually gets a job and becomes a manager. Insane. My Nina is already fierce, bold, brutally honest, and now she's a manager too. Even if she's still a flat-board queen, I still love her. And that's it, guys. Thank you to the tens of thousands of people who followed this Kuranika series on my channel. I hope you all find a clingy, loyal lover like Maki and Umi, just like the anime ending song says. So please keep loving me again and again. Stay with me forever, because you're the only one I love.